Why is chat not working? Oh. Hey, Labor. The chat seems to not be working. What if I add a new one? Chat box. Add source. Add assistant. Wait. Okay, now it's working. It's apparently just a little bit slow. Wait, what is that? I didn't see that message up there. What is that one? Oh, that's all the emotes. Ah, okay. I like it a lot. I'm still not maining it yet. I'm just messing with it, so I have it connected. It's actually running right now. I have it connected to my main monitor, and then I just switch input. And my keyboard can have up to 3 devices, so I just have a profile for Windows and a profile for Mac OS. So I just switch between those. So I have Windows running and Mac running at the same time. So on one of my screens I have Windows sometimes, like where I just consume content, and then the other one, the big one here, my 1440p monitor, I will have Windows on it, or Mac OS on it here. So over on the side I can just keep up with Discord and stuff like that. And I'm trying out Final Cut Pro to see if you can get like a 90-day trial. And I'm trying to see if that's something I want to work with. Apparently, it should be working better on Mac OS than what you call it, anything else. But I don't know. Let's do a refresh. But I haven't had any problems with it so far. I've recorded a few videos I need to edit. Yeah, I was thinking about doing TeamViewer or AnyDesk or, but when I can just switch between the input on my main monitor, it don't matter that much. The only downside is I have 2 mices on my desk. That's the only downside. I have a mouse for the Mac Mini, and I have a mouse for my Windows Linux machine. But that mouse I don't use. I just put that up in a corner underneath one of the screens, so I don't really see it. Yeah, but I don't want to mess with too much. My creation tools, like Logitech has something called Logitech Flow, I think it is, where you can also share mouse and keyboard. Yeah, this one here. But I think this is only working if you have Logitech mice, but I do have that, so. But this should also let you copy, paste, and all of that jizzle-dazzle between systems. But my idea is I want to have it separate because I want to see how much I'm going to miss Windows or Linux on Mac OS. And I don't get that if I'm just, seamlessly using all of them at the same time. So I kind of want Mac OS to be its thing, and I want Windows and Linux to be their thing. So when I am on Mac OS, I can't just, oh, this is irritating, or oh, I need this feature. Let me just do it on Windows. So I'm forced to use Mac OS. That's the only way you actually can see, if, in my opinion, that you can see if it's something worthwhile, to limit yourself to only use it when you are using it and not going and, doing other things. The only thing I don't record on it. Well, that's a lie. I record the screen, but I haven't set my webcam up forward. I haven't set my microphone and audio devices into the Mac Mini yet. So I just record on two computers sometimes. So I record the Mac OS computer, and then I record my Windows computer. And I don't know if I'm going to record on Mac OS, because I kind of just want Mac OS to be my everyday driver, and then once in a while do some content on it. I don't know. I have to see, because I think the Linux users are, or the Linux people on my channel are kind of running screaming away, because I'm almost not talking Linux anymore, and they cannot bear that. That's not okay. AnyDesk is the best. Yeah, I've looked into AnyDesk, yeah. Well, my idea is this, that I'm going to, because I code for, I don't, some days I code and some days I don't code at work, but I do coding stuff and research stuff for Windows at work. So I am going to need a Windows computer at home no matter what. And I think my main PC or my gaming computer is going to be a gaming computer, Windows and Linux computer. So I'm just, when I need to game, I just switch screen and then I start to game on my Windows machine. It's that easy. I just change input source and then I can game. It's that fucking easy. And I can run Linux and virtual machines, and I can do my Windows stuff. And then when I don't want to, or when I want to go back to Mac OS, I just switch input screen on my monitor, and I'm in Mac OS. It's that simple. So I don't need virtualization or anything like that. I may buy a laptop to just have Windows on it, and code on that, and then make my gaming computer transfer that into a Linux machine for content. And then for because for the stuff I do on my channel, I can perfectly find one Windows in a virtual machine. The only reason I can't run Windows on a virtual machine is because Linux didn't support the programs that I use, but Mac OS support all the programs that I need to use to run this channel. And gaming. Gaming was the other reason why I don't use Linux as my main OS anymore. But I don't game so much anymore either. So I could perfectly fine game on Linux right now, or even Mac OS, because the games that Linux don't support, Mac OS support. It's funny enough. So I'm messing around a little bit with it, but right now it takes me like 5 seconds and I'm in my Mac computer by changing the input device on my screen. And I only need one extra mouse on my desk because I have a Bluetooth keyboard. The Logitech MX, I'm actually thinking about buying the MX mechanical keyboard. I'm actually thinking about doing that. Because the Keychron or what the fuck it's called I have right now, it's not the best to switch between devices. It's kinda, sometimes you have to wait like 10 seconds before it wakes up and, oh, you want me to change device? Okay. It acts up once in a while. Yeah, the same here. I hold down function and then 1, 2, or 3 on my keyboard. And then that's 3 different USB devices. So let's say I want to code my keyboard to my tablet. I just hold down the function key and I hold down the letter 3. and then it goes into pairing mode, and then it gets picked up by my my tablet, and then I just have to, when it got picked up, after that I just have to hold down function and 3, and then it automatically switches to that. Function 2 is macOS, function 1 is Windows. Yeah, the Gator one switches are quite good. But I just heard people have more luck with the not keyboard. Yeah, it is keyboard switching, but apparently Keychron has a really iffy Bluetooth whatever system in them. It's not as stable as Logitech's is. Logitech's just work. Like I said, sometimes it act up when I switch devices. It takes like instead of just taking 1 second, it takes like 5 seconds before it's like, oh yeah, okay, I'm awake, I'm doing it, I'm switching, I'm here. But I realized something. Chrome, or not Chrome, GNOME. Like for all of the Linux people that say they hate macOS, GNOME is fucking macOS. Or at least the user, like it's almost fucking copy-pasted from macOS. It's scary how much alike those two systems are. They are more alike. GNOME and macOS user interfaces are more alike than KDE and Windows is. So I have a hard time taking people seriously that bitch and moan about the user experience on macOS while they're using GNOME, especially if they're using stock GNOME. That's like saying I don't like apples to eat an apple, or I don't like curry and eating a curry, just with a little bit different flavor profile. Yeah, Bluetooth is an issue. Yeah, but it also Bluetooth. It also depends on Bluetooth depends a lot on what technology you have. So if you're using like Bluetooth 4 on your motherboards or devices, that's an issue. If you're using 5, that's also an issue. You kind of have to use 5.1, I think it is, and then up before it becomes really, really good. And still, when you're buying new stuff, a lot of them still don't use Bluetooth 5. Some of them still use Bluetooth 4. And it's to save money, you know. There are still motherboards using older versions of Bluetooth. That is like new motherboards. And it's to save money. But the older version of Bluetooth has connection issues. They are not that stable. Yeah, the GNOME team, I don't know why they are so Apple happy. Yeah, it could, if it's a 2015 Lenovo, actually I was thinking about buying a Lenovo as a coding laptop, because you can get them used really cheap. Yeah, it's probably because it's your Bluetooth version that you have connection issues. Because funny enough, when I connect my Bluetooth keyboard to my Mac, never had a dropout. Never. When I connect my Bluetooth to my Windows machine, I randomly get dropouts or miss keystrokes randomly. Not so much, but randomly, like once a week or something like that. And I think the Mac is using Bluetooth 6 or the latest Bluetooth, and my Windows Asus board, I think, is only on either 4.5 or 5. It's a little bit behind. I can't remember what behind it is. Nope, I just use everything stock Apple. I have a video where I talk about the programs I use. I don't use a lot of extra programs with macOS. You know, I use iStat menu and all those normal things everyone else is using. But I have a video recorded I need to edit about the program, and some of the programs what program I was using in 2008 when I was a Mac user back then also, and they're still around and kicking and updating and all. It's funny enough to think about. There are a few programs I used like over 10 years ago, and they're still fucking in Mac OS and being updated by the developers and stuff like that. It's a nice thing to experience. One thing I do like about Mac OS is not to deal with the fragmentation of the ecosystem. Like, you kind of know to some degree that when you're getting a program from Mac OS, and also to some extent Windows, that there's a certain quality to it. Where if you go over to Linux, some random dude in their fucking basement can put something together and put it into a repo, and the quality of the programs is all over the place. And it's kind of the same with Windows. The program quality is all over the place on Windows. And it's something that I forgot, but I noticed it when I was starting and looking for programs and stuff like that again to use. It just seems like people that make macOS programs care more about actually making good programs. They don't just put shit out there. You can find a lot of shit on Windows and Linux. A lot of shit. I feel for some reason it's really difficult to find. It is like you can do it, but you don't get you don't get a shit ton of crappy selection on the Mac OS. And I want to, well, I have some theories, but I really want to know why that is. And I'm not just talking from the App Store, I'm talking from outside the App Store. It just seems like the developers are caring more about what they're doing. But a lot of the stuff also costs like $1 or $2. Maybe that's it, you know. There's this like meme that everything on macOS costs money, which is kind of true. A lot of programs do cost a little bit of money. But when you look at the quality of the programs, they seem to be leaps and bounds ahead, not behind, but ahead from the stock standard Linux and Windows programs that you get. So I think they just care more about this, the thing that they are doing. In general, I'm not saying that Windows developers don't make good programs, and Linux developers, like we have GNOME, we have VLC, that's an open source program that's been around for fucking decades. We have KDE, we have Krita, you know, of course, open source people can, or Linux people can make great programs, but when I use a Linux program, I always feel like I'm using stuff that's something I used 5 to 10 years ago. That's always, like, every time I use Linux, I'm feeling like I'm running a system that's 5 to 10 years old. With the way it looks, handles, feels, and the quality of the programs, and the features, and usability, and UX design of the programs. When I'm using Windows, it feels more up to date. And the same with Mac OS. Just every time I use Linux, I always feel like I'm stepping back. Oh, this is how we used to do it like X amount of years ago. This is how, you know, icon design and user experience used to be X years ago. It just seems like Linux is always trying to play catch up with everything for some reason. You know, it's a weird thing. Because it don't take extra time to make a good UI experience. It don't take extra time to, you know, code quality coding. To Max Friendly Stream, I never heard about that. Yeah, but it's not I'm not talking about Apple developers. I'm talking about hobbyists. Like hobbyists, you know, like people that will, let's say, make a wallpaper changer on the Linux versus someone making a wallpaper changer on Mac OS. Those are kind of people I'm talking about. they still seems to make better quality programs than other people. Like, I can understand, like you say, that if it's come from the company itself, yeah, I get it. Windows and Apple have a shit ton of money to make sure that there is some spit and polish get into it, but it's just like well, it is easy, it's just everyone don't think about it. Because here's how a code monkey, they think like this. This is good enough for me, therefore it will be good enough for everyone else. That's how most coder thinks. That's why we have UI and UX designers. That's a separate training in of itself. Because they understand how to get people to like the programs that they're using and make sense. Oh yeah, I think you talked about that, Lamer. Yeah. And it rings a bell now. I think you talked about that in a stream one day. Making a decent UI and user experience is not hard. You just have to think about it when you're making the UI and the program. You just have to think about it. But most programmers, they are just like, well, I can use it, therefore everyone else can use it. And that's true. But you may not be the the guiding light of what, UI design is, especially if you're just a code monkey. Because coders, they love to complicate everything. Love to complicate everything. Simplicity is something that people tend to forget about. Because they think that if it's simple, it's bad. What is... I hate these fucking... I think Chrome is kind of becoming shitty, if you ask me. It's becoming shitty. What is this? Build your first whatever. Oh, WinUI. Oh, forget about that shit. What do we have here? I just updated this yesterday, but apparently there were still updates today. You launch, I need to get this one away. I use both Safari, Chrome, and Edge on macOS. I mainly use Safari just to, mess with it and test it out. Spotlight, I never been into launchers. I barely use Spotlight whatsoever, to be honest. I think I've used it 3 times or something like that. What is? I haven't seen DistroWatch in a long time. It's the same shit, I guess. Oh, Sorian. Oh god, no. I love this. The Sorian menu has been overhauled to make it even faster, so you get where you want. Search for files, blah 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 blah, source, software store, work logs, and even use the menu by right-clicking. You know what the Arc menu or Sorian menu is? It's the fucking Arc menu, just modified a little bit. Sorian source code nowhere to be found. Yeah, Sorian is a fucking... Sorian is so anti-fucking Linux it's not even funny. Where is it? Yeah, the DistroWatch site is a fucking mess. Where are the menu? Where's the Soviet menu? This is just, I think it's K-Connect. One of these is. Why can't I get the Soviet menu code? Where the fuck is it? Do they have more than one repo? GS Connect, yeah. But they are notoriously hard to see their source code because Soviet OS is 99% copy paste. Like they just take other people's code and modify it a little bit. Here, this extension is based on GS Connect. How much of this is Soviet only code? And then they go in and make it look like they fucking invented it, everything. That's what I don't like. That's why I haven't used Soviet in years. Because of that. Just call it Arc menu here. Oh, that's a long ass time since it did anything with that. Yeah, there's nothing else to hop to, yeah. No, Soviet OS is the biggest scam that has ever lived. Here, KDE Connect. And I think they just changed, a few names and some color palettes around, and then they more or less call that Soviet Connect. It's not based on KDE Connect, it is KDE Connect with their small switches. Like last time they did any modification is 8 months ago. And this is still in their fucking tool set. They are basically taking glory from other people's work, and I hate that. I hate that. That's why I boycotted Soviet OS. I boycotted Soviet OS because they didn't. Where the fuck is my water? Oh, there it is. They didn't recognize Ubuntu on their webpage. You couldn't see anywhere that they were based on Ubuntu. They made it sound like they were like an independent distribution that did everything. Like, we are now the first, or maybe not the first, but now you can use game, whatever the fuck it's called, with Linux, like when that was the thing, game mode or whatever it is. We have now not enabled or something like that. We have added game mode, or a revolutionary mode, to start and play games better and faster under Linux, and they basically just fucking downloaded a package from the repo. That's what they did. But they made it sound like they invented game, whatever it is, and Soviet is the only OS that have it, and they make it sound like that, and it's like, you downloaded a package from the repository. That's all you did. And they had like a massive fucking promotion on it on their website that makes it look like they were like inventing something totally fucking new and different, and they were like the brilliant fucking heads behind. Like, dude, you just did sudo apt install game mode or what the fuck it was, and then compile your ISO. My brother can do that. Stuff like that I don't like. I don't like that shit. Because that's misleading like fuck, and it's taking potential money away from people that did game mode, or what it's called. It's taking eyes away from people that did game mode or do it. I don't know if it's around anymore. They're basically taking other people's work and basically underhandly saying to the world, it's our work, so therefore support us. You know. And people don't know better. And the same with, like, I boycotted Ubuntu when I couldn't find any mention of Ubuntu on their website whatsoever for, I think it was 2 years or something like that, before they recognized Ubuntu on their website. Dude, Sovereign OS is 80 to 90% Ubuntu. The only thing Sovereign OS is doing is customizing GNOME with scripts and a few small, little, insignificant in-house built apps. Everything else is done by Ubuntu, and you don't even back then they didn't even mention them for years. It's like, come on, man! That would be me giving Lamer a coding job and then go up to my boss and say, "Hey, look what I did! Look what I did!" You know, and then take all the fucking glory from it. I hate that shit. I hate that shit. I hate when people take credit from other people's work. And Sovereign OS has done that for years now. I used to be a massive Sovereign fan, until I realized how they fucking did their thing. Oh, that's an old repository. That's an old repository. Oh, no. Don't get me started on Gorada. They are fucked up in their head. Gorada Linux, they want, or they act like they are the biggest name in town. And think that their way are the only way of doing things, and if you don't agree with it, you are a second-class citizen, and blah, 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 blah. While they are probably one of the lesser used distributions on fucking ever to be exist. Like, there's barely anyone using Gorada Linux. Just because people don't make a lot of videos about don't mean that it's used. But they are swinging that dick around like they're swinging that big dick energy around like it means something. And if you criticize them, they get, it's you that's the problem. You don't know what you're talking about and blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, maybe the person that are criticizing you actually know what the fuck they're talking about. You're just so far up your own ass that you can't see it. No, Gorada don't think that they are Mac of Linux. That's Elementary OS and GNOME. Gorada think that they are Mac OS and Windows of Linux. They basically, Gorada think that they are Ubuntu. Oh, the thing is with Gorada, unless you go into their forums, you don't see it much. Yeah, Manjaro is a little bit too up their own asses also, but Gorada Linux is way up there. Like, I will agree that Manjaro Linux is not like, they need to fucking, they need to recenter themselves, Manjaro, because Manjaro, I like Manjaro Linux and I like the Manjaro development team, but they need to refocus their mindset a little bit. They gotten too big for their own britches, I think. But Gorada Linux was like that from the get-go. They even, like, brag about it on their website. And I know YouTubers that had run in with Gurada Linux just because they didn't agree with something they did, or they pointed out something that Gurada Linux did that was blatantly fucking stupidity to do it like that. It just made their distribution unuseful for a lot of people because they made a choice because it looks nice on a screenshot. But that's it. That's the only reason why they made the choice. It looks good on a screenshot. But it's almost useless if you change a wallpaper or you change a little thing. You change a little thing about the UI, and then this thing that they're herping so much about that, that's the best ever, just don't work anymore. Their own tools are some of the most inconsistent tools I have ever seen. Randomly, you get a pop-up that tells you what the button do. And sometimes you don't. You just have to kind of, it kind of tells me what it's doing, or I can guess what it's doing. But yeah, let me click it anyway to see if it's actually doing anything. Or a link or something. And then the whole, the way it looks and feel is so fucking... Gurada Linux is like LEDs for computer builds. It's nice to look at, it can be pretty, but you don't want a computer in your bedroom, right in front of your bed, with 10,000 LEDs blasting in your face while you're trying to sleep. You don't want 10,000 random LEDs in random colors in your face when you're trying to watch a movie. LEDs, for the most part, are only really, really useful when you're either using your computer or you're showing it off. Other than that, it's actually more irritating that it's good. Like, I cut dramatically down on my LED on my computer. The only LED I have is my RAM sticks. That's the only LED I have on my computer. Because it's on 24/7, and I don't want a fucking projector in my living room when I'm trying to sleep. You know, like, I don't want, like, this fucking neon sign doing all kind of crazy. That's a lie. My graphic card has LEDs on it also, but you can barely see them because they're really dimmed down. But I used to have LED fans and LED, like, I didn't even fucking, sometimes I didn't even need to turn on my lights. My computer lit up my whole room. It's like, just like, and I know you can go into the sofa and dim it down, but who the fuck wants to do that? You know? Who wants to sit in their control center? Oh, it's 10 o'clock, I have to dim it down, and you can't even fucking use voice assistant to do it anyway. Exactly, that like Gurada Linux is all about form and not function. Gurada Linux is like dating a really fucking hot girl, and then you're starting to sit to have dinner with her, and she's putting the fork into her own eyes while she's barfing all over the place, and thinks she's the smartest fucking person in the room. That's Gurada Linux for you. It looks nice. It's great for taking screenshots. But there's no depth to it. And then they make overcomplicated, massive programs that are basically duplicating everything that you already can do in KDE or GNOME or XFCE. Or there's already other tools to do it. Let's make our own. Let's duplicate things that already exist. That's Linux in a nutshell. That's one thing I hate about Linux is... You have like a million fucking tools that do the same thing because someone wants to make it better. And they end up being as crappy as the one that they try to make it better as. The only one that managed to do something different is OpenSUSE with the Yast toolset. They fucking managed to do something differently. Everyone else control center, they're just looking the same, and you could do the same fucking shit in KDE control settings and GNOME settings and XFCE settings. I like EndeavourOS. Like, if I ever should run Arch Linux as my main system, it would be EndeavourOS. But I'm not going back to Arch Linux. I don't. I'm going to piss more people. I think this this is going to be me just pissing Linux people off today, I guess. But I just don't see a fucking reason to run Arch Linux. What do Arch Linux give me that I can't get with other distributions? Better and more simple. If I want a cutting edge distribution, I want Tumbleweed. Welcome back, Lamer. And I have less issues with Tumbleweed than I have with Arch Linux. And I can get the same fucking software. I just have to compile some of it. But in the repos, Tumbleweed have 98% of the software that most people want to use. And if there is an obscure program, I just compile it from a tarball. It's not that big of an issue. Or convert a dep file, it do look RPM, but then I modify the RPM file to work with SUSE and Bob's your uncle. You now have the tool. I just don't see a reason to run Arch Linux. The only reason I see to run Arch Linux is so you can swing your Linux stick around and say you run Arch Linux. The only two distros I like where the vanilla versions of is Ubuntu and Fedora. Well, I like OpenSUSE's quote-unquote vanilla. But OpenSUSE don't really customize much to the environments. What they give you is icon theme, color theme, and wallpapers. And then you just leave KDE being KDE and GNOME being GNOME and stuff like that. All I need is Debian and Ubuntu. Yeah, I'm using Ubuntu and OpenSUSE Tumbleweed. That's the only two distributions I'm using. I am thinking about downloading and installing Debian stable and mess around with that. And then just use that as a record, for videos, Linux videos. Because I don't need the latest and greatest. And if I do, I just backport it in from testing or unstable. For Linux videos. I don't know, it's a weird fucking thing, man. Honestly, I see less and less reasons to run Linux as a desktop. I can't see why you would be like, I have to run Linux on a desktop. Oh, he's uploaded a few videos. I haven't watched any of them. I don't care. I don't care about Linux videos, to be honest. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I don't care what other people say about Linux. I really don't. That's how important Linux is in my life. And I'm thinking about fucking see if we can get a Linux server up and running at work, by the way. That's where I care about Linux, is on the server side. On the desktop, I'm just... When you spend 26 years waiting for the Linux desktop and the Linux community to get their act together, it's like waiting 26 years for this drunk-ass fucking bitch to get her act together so she can become the girl that you know she has in her, but it's never going to happen. I just don't want the headache of Linux anymore. Yeah, less headaches, yeah. Yeah, exactly. I've been tinkering a lot in the terminal on macOS the last couple of days, and it kind of gave me that, it fulfilled that tinkering need I have. And my tinkering need has moved from fixing my OS to coding instead. So when I want to tinker, I want to see, okay, can I make a program that fixes something I need fixed in an OS? Or a script and something like that. This whole thing that you have to tinker with Linux and that's what Linux is about. It's not. And here's the thing. Tinkering with Linux is not. It's like saying that I like a car that randomly breaks down. Nobody likes a car that randomly breaks down. When people say they love Linux because they have to tinker with it, I'm pressing big massive X to doubt for that one, because One day you will be really fucking busy and you need to do something and something breaks. No matter what OS you're on, something will break. One day you're really busy. And you're not like, yay! I have 5 minutes to deliver or do this thing, but let me spend an hour fixing this fucking issue. Nobody say that. Nobody say that. Like, nobody comes up to me at work when they have issues with their computer. Yay, Kent! It's amazing. We have issues with our computer. It's so fucking amazing. We can't work. Yay! Our boss is angry because we don't make any money. It's so fucking amazing. I never heard anyone be happy because they have to tinker with their computer. Because they almost always do it when they have something else to do better to do. It's like tinkering should be something you do when you want to, not out of necessity. Because if you tinker because it's necessary, there's a problem. It may be good for you now. You may not have a lot of obligations in life. You may not have a lot of things in your life right now. But when you start to get, things has to be done, deadlines, other obligations other than computers and stuff like that. You get kids, you get families, you get other interests and stuff like that. And then I have 5 minutes, I can send this report out, I can answer this email, whatever the fuck it is. You don't have time to sit and fix Windows, Linux, or Mac, or any operating system because it just randomly wants to fucking break on you. So people that say that they love when Linux breaks because then I can tinker. Yeah, what that tells me is that you have no fucking life. Like, that's the only thing you have in your life is that you sit and wait for Linux to fuck up so you can tinker with it. Hey, dude, just tinker with it then. There are so many problems with Linux. Try and fix one of them. But that's too hard. That's too hard. Try and fix Wayland. Nah, that's too hard, but let me move a hashtag around in this fucking config file. That I want to do. People want to tinker, in quotes, when it's easy for them. People don't want to tinker when they have no fucking idea what's going on. People don't want to fix their operating system when they don't know what the fuck is going on. They have to spend hours learning shit. People want to tinker and fix it when they know exactly what to do. That's not tinkering, that's just stroking your own fucking ego. It's just an ego stroke. And I've seen it for so many fucking years with Linux. I talk to people, I love to tinker. I'm like, dude, I have this massive fucking issue with something in Linux that takes weeks to figure out, and nobody wants to help out with it. Because it's too complicated. It takes too much time. That's what tinkering is. You don't tinker by fixing Xorg or fixing an icon theme that don't work correctly, or go on to Art's main page to copy paste a command to do manual intervention. That's not tinkering. Tinkering is my OS don't fucking boot up. System D broke. The file system is corrupt. I can't access my file shares. Samba broke. VLC broke. I can't open it. It's throwing exceptions all over the place. It won't work. That's tinkering, figuring that one out. Linux tinkering equipment would be people saying, I love being a mechanic because I switch light bulbs in my fucking car all the time. They just check LEDs in their car. Oh, a light bulb or LED cracked. Yay, let me fix it. That's what people say as tinkering under Linux. And they think that they are Linux guru. No. What you're doing maintenance. You're doing mediocre task that is basically maintenance under Linux. You don't tinker. You're just doing maintenance. And all of these smart fucking Linux channels I see out there, you get them to fix System D. They don't want to say, I don't want to fucking spend a week, an hour, or a month learning System D to fix a computer. Fuck that shit. Just reinstall the distribution. Look at this here. How many Linux users reinstall Linux when something massively goes wrong? How many times have you reinstalled Linux when something was wrong? Yeah, Debian stable, no tinkering. There you go. Like, if you think you need to reinstall your OS to get it to work again, that's when you start to tinker. How not to reinstall your OS. Yeah, it's easier, exactly. Anything that breaks where you don't need to reinstall your OS is just maintenance. When you can't use a program or your OS anymore, that's when you start to tinker. Because you are fixing something. You're fixing something that is massively broken. If I just have to copy paste a command into fucking Arch Linux to do an update, everything else is working. Heck, I can still fucking install programs and uninstall them. I just can't update 1 or 2 programs. That's maintenance. You know, that's like scraping old paint off a wall and repainting it. That's not building a whole wall or fixing the interior of the wall. That there's so much fake elitism, computer elitism, or fake what is it called? What the fuck do we call it? Where people think that they are something that they are not in Linux. Like, oh, I installed Arch Linux the Arch way, therefore I know exactly everything about my hardware. No, you don't. You know, no, you don't. There's a lot of that with Linux. Like, there's this false sense of they think most Linux users think they know what the fuck they're doing, and they're so fucking smart, and they know more about their computer than anyone else, and they could fucking get an IT job tomorrow. Yeah, delusion of grandeur, probably that one. Yeah. I don't know if that's the word, but yeah. And it drives me up the fucking wall. Like I said, what most Linux users are is like the same as you as a person changing a blinker on their car to a mechanic. That's what 99% of Linux users are, and 99% of Linux channels are. They are people that know how to change a blinker and a light bulb on a car, but are trying to play mechanics. That's exactly how they are. And for people that actually know what the fuck they're talking about, that's massively irritating to listen to. Like, there's a lot of people I've seen that have worked with Linux for decades, professionally, and they see all these fucking so-proclaimed massive popular Linux YouTubers, and they're like, they don't know what they're talking about. They just don't. Like I said, it's like someone changing a fucking light bulb in a car, or wheels on a car, and now they think they're a fucking mechanic. It's just, it drives me up the fucking wall, man. Yeah. When you start to work with fixing problems like daily, you don't want to fix problems on computers when you get home. Like, you don't. You don't. Windows is nice with that. Windows has gotten better the last few iterations, yeah. Windows is more stable, okay? I personally have never had any issues with Debian stable. But I never really, well, I have like many years ago. In recent years, I haven't really run Debian stable for an extensive period of time, like as a main desktop. I only really run Debian stable in virtual machines for the most part, just to think and mess around and break shit and do some research and development and stuff like that. Yeah, but Valve SteamOS is purposely built for Steam Deck. It's not built for your machine. And at some point, the SteamOS is going to probably only be really runnable on Steam Deck. Yeah, Debian Stable is the most stable distro, yeah. I haven't had to reinstall Windows since 2015. That was the last time I had to reinstall Windows. And of all of the computers I have installed Windows on at work this year, I have not had any of them needed a reinstall. I don't know if I want a Steam Deck. I'm not a portable gamer. I don't like gaming on handhelds. I rarely, if at all, game on my mobile phone or tablet. I just, like, maybe if I was traveling a lot, doing a lot of commuting and stuff like that, I would probably do it. Like, I would probably get, like, a Steam Deck or something like that, but I don't do anything where I sit and wait for, like, 30 minutes or an hour. Where I just, I just have to wait, for a train come and go, or go somewhere, or bus ride or something like that. I don't have that. And I don't want to sit at home with a Steam Deck in my hand in front of my computer that I could just play on my computer then. Like, why the fuck will I play on my tablet and my phone or Steam Deck when I can just use my computer? The only reason I would want a handheld gaming device is like if I'm commuting a lot or traveling a lot or waiting a lot outside of my apartment. There I can see a reason to have it. But other than that, I'm like, I think a lot of, and this is another thing that I found really strange with the Steam Deck. A lot of people that buy the Steam Deck, they don't really fucking use the Steam Deck as it's intended to be used. It's intended to be something you have on the go. But I don't see many Steam Decks on the go. I see Nintendo Switches on the go. And I think the reason why a lot of people don't take the Steam Deck with them on the go is because it's so fucking big. Like, it's a choppy boy. It's like a fucking brick, man. And I have a feeling that plays into it a little bit. That it's just too fucking bulky, Yeah, the same here, painted black, yeah. Yeah, the Steam Deck is fucking big, yeah. But I noticed this when I love seeing EDC, everyday carries, and I love to see it from tech people and non-tech people. And most, like, this is just me searching YouTube, so this is not scientific, because Linux users will get at me at this. I would say 9 out of 10 times when I see someone having a portable gaming device with them for their EDC tech, it's almost always either a tablet or a Nintendo Switch. I think, like I said, 1 out of 10 times, it will, heck, I would say 1 out of 30 times, I see someone having a Steam Deck in their, like, backpack or something like that for their everyday carry tech kit. It's really rare you see a Steam Deck as someone's everyday carry. Oh yeah, the Nintendo Switch has outsold the Steam Deck like plenty of times and faster. The Nintendo no, the Steam Deck has not sold more than the Nintendo Switch. The Nintendo Switch is still the most sold handheld gaming device. I don't know where the fuck you've seen that. Maybe the Steam Deck sold more in the first year than the Steam Deck does. But the last time we looked into it on a live stream a few months ago, the Steam Deck in the first year sold as much as the Switch sells in a month on average. The Steam Deck is not outselling the Nintendo Switch. I don't know where you got that from. It's highly selective. What you call it? Data. I would love to see where they get that fucking information from. I don't even want to fucking search it right now. Yeah, I think the Steam Deck sold more Steam Decks in the first year than Nintendo Switch sold in the first year. But here's the thing what Linux users tend to forget. They do the same with Windows. Oh, Windows didn't do that well in the first year. No. Not everyone is a Linux user. Linux users are the only one that upgrade their OS on day one when a new release comes out. That's the only time they do it. It's only Linux users that are doing it. Everyone else upgrade when they have to. Most people upgrade their hardware when they have to, not when something new comes out. Most people buy a new laptop when they have to. Most people migrate to a newer version of Windows when they have to. This whole thing that we do in Linux where we upgrade every time there's a new release, that's only something that's being done within Linux. Most fucking servers don't upgrade every time there's a new server Linux OS upgrade. They still stick on their version of Red Hat because it's working. Blah, 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 blah. You know, they again, Linux users don't know what they're talking about. We need a sign when a Linux user opens their mouth and be like, you don't know what you're talking about, and then just walk away. The game catalog for a console needs to fill out before they really starts moving units. No, I don't even think that's it. I think the problem with Steam or Steam Deck is that one, Valve has a really bad track record of making hardware. Yeah, the PlayStation Portal, yeah. Valve have never had a successful hardware. Never. Valve have never made a successful hardware product. Never. So if the Steam Deck is successful, that's the first ever in-house built, in-house developed hardware that will become popular, or that is popular. Everything else they did on the hardware side that they made themselves has failed. The Oculus Rift or the VR, they bought that. That's the only thing that's successful within Valve. They bought that VR set. They didn't invent it, they didn't research it, they just bought it. And that's one thing. People know that Valve has not had a big, good, successful track record with hardware. And then it's just like, why would you want a big, massive behemoth in your backpack when you can have something smaller that also can give you game? Because here's the thing. If you bought it from HTC, yeah. People don't really care what games they play while they are taking a shit, or while they are taking the bus, or waiting at the doctor's office, or waiting to take the test at school. They just want to game something. They just want to play something. They don't necessarily want to. They're like, oh, I will only play Call of Duty when I'm taking the bus. That's the only thing I want to play. No, they just want to play something. So of course they take the devices that takes the less room, have the best battery life, you know, form factor and all that fucking shit, and of course has some good games. Your phone already have that. Your tablet already have that. And the Nintendo Switch, for those Nintendo fanboys out there. But people that are not Nintendo fanboys, they just game on their fucking mobile, or they game on their tablet. Why would I have a massive fucking weapon I can hit people in the head with and get sued by them, by the way, that takes a lot of space in my backpack, when I have my phone on me or already have a tablet in it? that can play a lot of fucking amazing games. Why would I have a separate gaming device then? If I should be a mobile game, I will just use my mobile or tablet. Why would I have a Switch or a Steam Deck? I already have a gaming device on me. It's called my mobile phone or tablet. It's like saying I want to game, so let me build a gaming computer and a PlayStation and then only play on the PlayStation. When you have a perfectly fine gaming computer at your disposal. Oh, they are hiring here. Valve is also massively overrated, if you ask me. Like, what made Valve a lot of money was not their games, it was Steam. Steam. Yeah, it takes a lot of failures to get one right thing, but I think the Steam Deck will be like anything else Valve have done. It will be something that they will not be the biggest, but it will be something that some people still will want to have because it's Valve. Yeah, I'm not. Like I said in Discord, if they go woke, I don't want to touch it with a minefield. I am so fed up with the media trying to force political agendas into my brain, and I don't care what side of the fucking agenda they are on. If I play or see something where it's like heavily underlying political tones in it, I don't want to watch it, I don't want to play it, I don't want to buy it. Oh yeah, well bought Dota 2, yeah. I don't want to be fed political agendas in places where I'm trying to escape the fucking world, If I want to see how fucked up the world is, I just go outside. I don't want someone that's leaning to one way or the other on the aisle to force their political views into my brain in form of, quote, entertainment. I'm not watching a TV series or playing a game to have a political debate. I'm playing them to have fun and be entertained. If I want a political debate, I go into places where they do have political debates. And that's why go woke and go pro. People don't want that shit. That's why when you see a product or television series go too woke, people don't want to buy it or use it. Like Hollywood or people making movies and entertainment products, if they want to be politicians, go into office. If coders want to be politicians, go into office. I'm so tired of getting, bombarded with fucking political agendas all the fucking time. Exactly, Paint. I actually, to be honest, most of the people yelling and screaming on Twitter and Rotten Tomato and all of those Reddit, I don't think any of them ever voted. But they do have a strong fucking political, whatever. But I don't think they ever vote. They just like to bitch and moan. I'm just so fed up with this political agenda that everyone is on at the moment. It's like buzzwords. Everything is about buzzwords. To the degree that it's hurting the thing that they're trying to do or maintain. Like, there's so many companies that have gone under because, we want to be as inclusive and blah, 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 and all of these buzzwords. And like, just hire good people. Who gives a fuck where the fuck they're coming from, who they are fucking, and what their belief systems are. If they're good people, hire them. And if you get a majority of one or the other thing, who gives a fuck? They're good working people. Nobody's saying that this majority of X, Y, and Z is going to be like that forever. You may hire new people in a year or so that change. Just hire good people, Just make good videos, get good actors, get good, developers. Don't give a fuck about their ethnicity and all that. Who gives a fuck? I don't care about the person that fucking coded my game that I'm playing if they are fucking a furry at night. I don't give a fuck. Or they are jamming 10,000 butt plugs up with their husband in their ass. I don't give a fuck. I don't. Just give me a good game. Why do I need to care about those people so much? They don't give a fuck about me. Like, they don't text me like in the middle of night if I can't sleep and like, hey bro, you can't sleep, you bought my game. My boyfriend is putting a butt plug up my ass right now, but how are you feeling, by the way? And thanks for purchasing my game. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't. They just care about how much money they can suck out of you. Yeah, Rockstar used to make fun of politics, yeah. Yeah. But I don't think they can do that anymore, Lamer. There's already people bitching and moaning about GTA will be woke. But we don't know yet. We're still way out in the future with that one. Also, no, I don't want to go into that because then I will just piss more people off. I'm getting too old for this fucking world. Like, I don't know. I'm really fucking I just want a cabin in the woods. Go to work, go out to the cabins in the woods, chop some wood, get some exercise, and then just fuck everyone. Fuck people. It's just the drama and the bullshit with people. I'm starting to hate people more and more. Like, it's like, okay, what drama do I have to fucking deal with today? Like, who's fucking I left my charger at home bullshit am I going to deal with today? Or, oh my god, my cat ate too much. Like, oh my god, my boyfriend didn't see my new haircut drama do I have to deal with today? Just like, people are so in their own world nowadays that it's we don't have anything to fucking complain about. And that's why people are so fucking bitchy, because they want to complain. Just fucking recognize that you have a fucking good life. Even if you have a shitty day, you're having a better life than the majority of people on Earth. You get food, you have heat, you have security, you have police, you have, that sometimes take care of you, but still then, you have all of these amazing things that like 100 years ago people died to have. But still you bitch and moan. Like, just be fucking grateful once in a while. Like, if someone asks me how my day is, I don't think I've ever said I have a bad day. I always have a good day. Because I know there's someone else that has a worse day than me. So I always do my best to say every day is a good day, no matter how sucky it is. Like, yeah, it's stressful, it's fucking an irritating day, or oh my god, this is a Monday day where everything just goes wrong, but I still have a fucking better day than most people, or a lot of other people. And most of the problems that I have in my life is fucking stupid problems. It's like, yeah, fuck, work is stressful, or why is this not working at work? But that's why I get paid, it's to fix that shit. If everything just worked, I wouldn't get paid, And if everything was done and there was nothing new to do, I would not get paid. So yeah, it may be irritating and frustrating, but that's, that's why we get paid, Yeah, can't complain, yeah. There's so many people, if we ask them, how was your day, or are you okay? Or so, they just fucking dump all their fucking issues on. Just like, yeah. Now I feel shitty. Like, thanks for bringing my day down. Like, I don't get, like, yeah. It's a fucking mess. everyone nowadays are just like, you know, the most, everyone is living the worst day on their life all the fucking time, it looks like. If you go on to social media, either they are this fucking paint-brushed, fucking photo-edited lifestyle they are living that's fake as shit, or they are living the worst fucking day that everyone could ever fucking live on Earth. It's either one of those. Either it's massively fake, or they are like having the worst day ever to existed on Earth. And it's just, it's so fucking funny. You know, it's so fucking funny. You can't fucking win. I hate Mr. Beast. I just can't stand that fucking dude. There's just something about him that rubs me the wrong way. Every time I see an interview with him, I'm just getting like this arrogant, self-righteous, up his own fucking farts kind of attitude from him. I can't stand people like that. Nobody listens, you know, like. That's the other thing. When people do that fucking bad day dump on you, you don't, you know. Oh, I think he is a scam, or his videos are at least fake. I think most of his videos have some fake components to them. Like he. Let's be honest. He's manipulating people. It's a manipulation. This is a massive manipulation. Is that the Atlanta Falcons? No, the Buccaneers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But it's manipulation. YouTubers are manipulators. They try to manipulate you into watch their fucking videos. So, if you're a successful YouTuber, you are a successful manipulator. You know? Like, try to think about it like that. Like, if you're a Mr. Beast, you really know how to manipulate the audience into watching your videos and click on your thumbnail. I don't think I've heard anyone acknowledge that and put it that way. But that's what it is. It's manipulation. Like, manipulations to high heaven and fuck with that beautiful lady there. You know? It's a fun thing to think about. Because all of this here, this is marketing. It's marketing 101. Everyone that runs a YouTube channel, they are doing marketing for themselves or for products. But you are marketing your channel the same way someone will marketing a product. You are just the product. It's just about how scammy and soggy do you want to do it, and how much do you want to manipulate your audience. You didn't miss much. But this is all manipulation and marketing. Nothing more. And some are good at it, and some are not good at it. Yeah, but that's what YouTube is about. If you want to be a successful YouTuber, you have to know how to manipulate your audience into watch your videos. You have to know what they want to watch. That's manipulation. I know what you want, therefore I'm giving it to you. So, you are giving me money. Who's Jim Jones? I don't know who Jim Jones... I probably know, but I can't... I'm so bad with names. Like, names... Like, I can't fucking... Faces, I can do that, but names? No. I'm so fucking, you know... It takes me a long time to get people's names planted in my head. Oh! Oh, yeah. Now I know who... Yeah. Now I know who you're talking about. Oh, yeah, this fucking... the fitness girl from... The Biggest Loser, she's fucking mental in her brain, man. Most of those weight loss programs are fucking bullshit. I just forget names right away. How can I get this fucking shit away? What's this? Oh, I can do a QA. Ah, cool. Yeah, they like to manipulate people. I can't even oh, App Center, this is newly updated. What did we get there? They don't even want to fucking open up. Congratulations! Welcome to Linux. Gedit just got updated. At least that will open. But we have some fucking... Oh, theming issues here. Yep, theming issues. Oh, Jesus. I'm not even... Like, I'm using this built-in theme here. I have not themed this at all. This is stock standard Ubuntu theme, by the way. Yep, the year of the Linux desktop, people. 2024. Why can't I open the fucking App Center? Why? Yeah, it's fuck me. Just fuck me. What is this text editor? What have I opened here? Oh! Oh, that's source code from Canadian Live. Let's see how many people are fucking understand what this is. It's C++. Qt and C++. Awesome. Nice. What the fuck was the other editor we opened up? That was Gedit. But what are you then? Huh? Okay, so GNOME have, because Gedit used to be the official. Oh, it's its own thing, so it's not GNOME. Ah, because Gedit used to be the official GNOME editor. Yeah, look, GNOME project. Do they want money for it on the Microsoft Store? No, it looks like it's free. That's a little bit confusing. You can GNOME text editor. So we have gedit and GNOME text editor. Okay. I love Notepad++, yeah. I use that actually quite often at work. So which one is the GNOME project's main editor then? It must be this one here. Oh, Notepad++ is like I used to fucking do HTML development in Node++ and CSS back in the day. That's strange. So they have two projects running beside each other that do the exact same thing, apparently. Or did gedit go away from GNOME and basically got forked and they did their own thing? Huh. Oh, VS Code is too much for fucking HTML. HTML and CSS are so simple that you don't need you need just a simple editor for it. Oh, I can search document type here. F#. I don't think anyone uses F#. Oh, Kotlin. Lure. Yeah, regular Notepad has gotten way too fucking weird. I don't like it so much anymore. It's actually reminding me a lot like GNOME editor. Well, I can see if you're doing JavaScripting that VS Code will help you. Oh, Rust. Oh, people will go mental now. Star. I never heard about that one. Trick. Okay. Vala. That's basically just C# for Linux. Yeah, Max test editor is actually really cool. Yeah, Delta, yeah. Kate is also fucking good. Oh, sorry, I just hit my microphone. Kate is actually really good. I use that as spots. I used to use it exclusively. Oh, I got some fucking sex workers following me on Instagram again. I need to block these asses. Give me a second. Oh, I already blocked them apparently. Or they were blocked on another account. There's so much fucking bots on Instagram, it's not even funny anymore. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's why I need to get some lights in my room. It's getting too fucking dark. There you go. Just give me a second here. You guys can't see it, but I was sitting in fucking pitch darkness. Pitch black darkness. Only having my screen in my face. It was getting... My eyes was be like, do you need to sleep or do you need to stay awake? Figure something out right now. Instagram is becoming a cesspool. Like, I'm not even fucking joking. There's so many scammers and bots, and there are no... Like, the only thing you can do is either block the account or mute the account. You cannot report it. So all they have to do is just make another fucking account. You know? You can't... There's no way that you can say to Facebook or Meta or what the fuck they call themselves nowadays, like, these kind of people from this IP addresses or whatever the fuck it is, keep, you know, they keep harassing me or keep following me with fake accounts and bots accounts. They can't just go in and IP ban them. The only thing you can't report them for anything. The only thing you can report them for is if they're impersonating someone else that you know. That's the only thing you can do. So if I ban one account, let's say someone is really angry, I ban one account, they can just make a new one. With a new email, and then continue. Then you ban that one. Then you make a new one, continue. It's social networks like that, they need to have a way where you can say, like, this person, I suspect, is this person also. They keep coming back and harassing someone. Please do something about it. And then on the back end, they can, of course, see who they are and where they are. And by the way, VPNs don't protect you against that shit. They can get your MAC address and then you're fucked. You know, and then they can just either IP or MAC address ban them. You can't even fucking, you know, report them other than just block them. So if I block them, they can just go on to the next one. You know, they don't get taken down. They can just continue doing what the fuck they want on that account. Like, if you could report them, and then they could just close down the account. No, you can't. MAC addresses is a fingerprint. You can't randomizing that one. A MAC address is an individual thing on your hardware device. I can't remember what the fuck it stands for. A unique identifier assigned to a network interface controller for use as a network address in communication with the network. This is unique to you. And you should never give it away to anyone. You can change it, but it is unique on your hardware. Your computer has a MAC address that is the only MAC address that any other computer have ever. That's yours. That's why that if PlayStation Network or Xbox Network, they MAC ban you. You have to buy a new device. And I can't remember, but I think it's something to do with coding into a chip somewhere on the motherboard or something like that. Like that, of course, everything you can change. Everything can fucking be flashed and stuff like that. What macOS can do is change your IP address like a VPN. Yeah, but that MAC randomizer is not randomizing your MAC address. Android. They have it also. You can enable it on Android. But as they say here, you can experience bad connections if you do it. What macOS can do, they can set up a fake email and fake email. Has just said that, fucking stupid idiot. Fake email and fake IP addresses for you via is it Apple Cloud Plus? Is that the name? The one that we subscribe? I think I can't remember it now. But if you subscribe to that Apple whatever one, is it Apple One or what the fuck it is? They will randomize your IP. No, not iCloud Relay. It's Apple One. Yeah. With iCloud Relay, they will randomize your IP, and you can get random email addresses that you can use to sign up for stuff. And then when they push emails to that random email address, it will then be pushed to your iCloud email address. But they don't have like the one you sign up with the random email address only have that random email address. It's only Apple that knows your random email address and your normal email address. If you get what I'm coming at here. Yeah, exactly. Events, exactly. Like a MAC address is more or less a fingerprint of your hardware, and any hardware that's connected to the internet has a MAC address. Or any, like also USB devices have MAC addresses. So anything that's connected to some form of networking has a MAC address. And that MAC address is somewhat easy to find even in encrypted areas and VPNs and what have you not. But you need to know what you're doing and have the right tools and all that fucking shit. Like, I laugh at people that is like, I am anonymous on the internet. No, you are not. If you want to be anonymous, you don't use the internet. Heck, was it last year or this year that someone from Anonymous got jail time because they did things you should not do? Like, one of the most anonymous hacker group on earth have people in jail. It's just a matter about how many resources do people want to use to get you fucking, Can we justify spending thousands of dollars if you just put a fucking flying dildo on some CEO's wallpaper or something like that? That's all it comes down to. It's like, how many resources do we want to spend to find you? That's all it comes down to. And if you don't do any massive fucking bad shit, they don't want to spend thousands of dollars, unplug your Ethernet cable. That's how you get hidden on the internet. It's so fucking... I used to be in a Discord with a guy, and he was fucking mental in his brain. He would go on to Twitch streams and harass booby streamers. And I'm like, dude, why the fuck are you doing it? You switch with IP ban. Oh no, I have like 3 fucking VPNs. And? It don't fucking matter. Nope, nobody can find me because I'm using 3 VPNs. Okay. If you say so, just don't do anything fucking too bad. Like, people nowadays, man, I don't know if the collective fucking IQ of humans have fallen, like, well, actually it has. Was it from 2020 to 2023? The collective IQ of humans have fallen with 10%, which is the same that took from 1970 up to now to gain. So we are basically like, we have lost 50 years of evolution in IQ in 4 or 5 years. That's really scary to think about. How easy we can lose that shit. Yeah. I feel people are getting so stupid that if you ask them a question, it's like, let me ask someone on YouTube, Reddit, Facebook, Twitter, or Google. They don't think for themselves. Yeah, you have to refresh the ROM. Yeah. And then if you're unlucky, you get 2 of the same devices with the same MAC address, then, well, one of them is going to work and the other one is not. So you're kind of fucked there. But it's a fun thing, dude. It's a fun thing. Like, I can't fucking remember where I read it. I read it, I think it came up in my news feed, where they've done a study that in 5 years, the human race have lost what is equivalent to 50 years of evolution in IQ. And they think it's because of social media. People are not learning anymore. They spend too much time arguing. Which, like, if we really are going to put, like, tinfoil hats on here, peeps, it's a really good way of, let's say, if you were Russia or China or North Korea, get societies to argue with each other. Instead of us being angry at them, let them be angry at each other. Let them fight each other. Let them eat each other up from the inside. And then when that country or society is really weakened because of infighting and turmoils and distrust and stuff like that, they can just easily swoop in and save the day. We have the answers. We can help you out. Let's come in here and be the good guys. And they just fucking orchestrated everything from the behind. I will not be surprised if that's what's happening right now. I would not be surprised. Because the amount of this, just look at America, how much distrust there is between people and people at the governments and people in service fields like police officers, first responders, nurses, and anything that has to do with basically anything else. Everyone is angry at each other. Policemen are angry at the people. People are angry at the policemen. You know, the nurses are angry at the government, and the nurses are angry at the people, and the people are angry at the nurses and the government. Everyone is angry at each other. And if you can force like a civil war or something like that, and then you can come in and be, let us save you, let us help you get back up on track, then you have the fucking power to take over that fucking land without drawing any weapons. It's really weird, but I'm like, the tinfoil hat is big on this one. You know, like, it's like, my tinfoil hat is on the size of a fucking oil tank or something, like a Harrier jet's ship or something like that. Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. But again, we can't, like, I've only heard speculations. I've never seen any, I never seen any concrete proof of it other than small little, you know, oh, they did this here, they mangled a little bit over here, you know, they had their fingers in this pot over here. That don't mean that they're orchestrating everything, because every government on Earth has their fingers in pots in other governments. And doing manipulation shit, so we get what's best for our country. Everyone does it. The states meddle around in fucking other countries just to be more favorable, and you know they are not the good guys either. Like that's not, you know, they are doing the exact same fucking thing as they are. You know, making a coup and then come in and saving the people so they can control the fucking government, have a puppet government. The states have done that for fucking decades. It's just mostly been done in like third world countries and stuff like that. But if the Chinas and the Russians are doing that to us here in the West, that's a big fucking scheme. You know, like, they have to spend decades doing that. But some say they are. You know, there were defectors from the KGB that were talking about this that defected in the 80s. I can't fucking remember. There's a YouTube video with him. And he's talking about exactly what's happening today. And that's how you take over a country. That's how KGB or Russia, or was it, what was it called in the 80s? Not Russia, but the USSR, what the fuck it was called. Oh, it's Psychops. Oh, yeah. Effector? Yeah, I think it's this one here. Yeah, this one here. Yeah, this one here. He talks about how they would take over a country from the inside and stuff like that. It's exactly what the fuck is happening right now. Demoralizing and stuff like that. And this is from 1985. And I would not be surprised if some of that is happening. And have been happening since 1985. And I will not be surprised if USA, Germany, France, Denmark, Sweden also is doing the same shit other places on Earth. We're all doing it, by the way. I don't think this is just something, you know, Russia is the only one doing. I think they're probably the biggest one doing it to the biggest extent. The same with China. But the United States has been doing this, like I said, with setting up puppet governments and shit like that, you know. And I won't be surprised if Denmark has done it in some small degree somewhere in the world, or maybe still doing it to some small degree somewhere in the world. Like, it's not just like we have to remember all the time. Those tactics is used by every side. It's just because we look at ourselves as the good guys, therefore it's okay if we do it. But they're the bad guys, so it's bad if they do it. Like enhanced interrogation. Nobody really have an issue with that. If we do it. If the other people do it, it's called torture. It's the same fucking shit. It's just another name, and we're the good guys, we're doing it for good, versus they're the bad guys, they're doing it for evil. It's that double moral bullshit I can't stand with human beings, to be honest. And Linux users do it a lot. You know, Windows can't do this. And then they do the exact fucking same thing on Linux. That's okay, because we do it for the better, you know, we're the good guys. If you think there is such a thing as a good government, you might as well just fucking live on Mars. But, you know, like, no government is said to be for the people. It's just what government sucks the least. That's it. It's all it comes down to. The most perfect government is doing shitty, crazy shit to some part of society. There is no perfect government. There will never be a perfect government. It's just what sucks the least. You know. You can look at the States, they have a really, like, the infrastructure in the States is fucking abysmal bad. But they have a really big free market. Then you go to places like here in Europe or Asia that don't have a massive free market, or it's a little bit more controlled by the government. But their infrastructure is fucking amazing, you know. The streets are cleaner, they are better, you know, maintained and shit like that. But we don't have that free of a market compared to the States. So which one do you know? Like, which one do you want to live in? You know, you just have to you have to find a balance of what government do I, you know, fit the best in. You found my Mac setup. Yeah, I can't open this up because it will just redirect me to my dashboard. But I really highly recommend watching this here. And remember, Remember, the states are doing the same fucking shit. Look at that. We would not have reached the fucking moon without Nazi scientists. Like, the world is a crazy fucking world, man. You know. Oh yeah, modern warfare is information. It's cyber warfare. Most wars in the future, and basically more or less from now on, is going to be fought on the internet. You know, it's going to be cyber warfare. Because it's more powerful. Imagine this. You want to destabilize a country. Take out their fucking communication infrastructure. Just take out their communication infrastructure. Take out Wi-Fi, cell phones, landlines. Just take that out. Not only the fucking teenagers that can't live one day without Wi-Fi is going batshit crazy at their parents. And then their parents that can't get Starbucks every 5 minutes are getting angry at the Starbucks. And then the businesses that can't do business anymore is getting angry at the government. You will have a riot within like 30 fucking minutes. Probably started by some 15-year-old with their iPhone in their hand. It's like, I can't post to Instagram. What the fuck, you know? Probably once on the forefront of that fucking revolution or riot. Just take down communication. Because we are so addicted to the internet, it's not even funny. I remember I think it was the early 2000s, where most of Earth couldn't use the internet for half a day. Or when I say most of Earth, I think it was most of Europe and the States. Some big server and nodes was down for some fucking weird reason. I can't remember why. I think it was like it was not a hack, but something went wrong, and a lot of nodes went down on the internet. So for like 12 hours or 8 hours, most of those areas could not do anything with the internet. There was some like one of the biggest fucking loss financially on Earth at that point. And people were going mental. Go look up a day if you see Facebook or Instagram or Twitter being down for like an hour. Go on to forums and stuff like that and see how people are going. Like, it's like, you should think that you killed their cat and their firstborn or something like that. They are going mental. It starts out with, oh, is this service down with your end? Yeah. Oh, let's hope it comes up. Yeah. Is it still down for you? Yeah, it's fucking irritating. Yeah. Have you heard anything? No. It's getting really irritating. Yeah. We must do something. Yeah, let's get together. And then people like, what the fuck is going on here? We need to talk to somebody. It's like a fucking junkie, man. You know, they get fucking shakes and sweats, and the longer it goes, the more angry they get at everything. And it's so funny to see. It's so fucking funny to see that there are kids nowadays, like teenagers, that think that the internet should be a human right. So think about it like this. They want lack of internet to be punished the same way as if you were being waterboarded by an enemy. Or your fingernails is being pulled out in enhanced interrogation, in quotes. Or you don't have access to food and water while you're encapsulated. They want the lack of internet access to be treated into the same degree. I think that's a little bit extreme, but yeah. When I read that someone have said that, I was like, we have lost it. Like, we fucking lost it, people. We have lost it, man. I think that's going too extreme. I do like the idea, though, about basic internet access. you know, like basic healthcare and stuff like that. Like every household should have access to, let's say, 10 megabytes of internet access, download speed and upload speed. Every house should have access to that by default, paid for by the government or something like that. You know, like that should be, everyone should have access, or maybe 5 megabytes line. And then if you want more, then you pay like an ISP and stuff like that. That I could see being a thing. But I don't know how that will work in the States, because Americans are really afraid of giving the government money for some reason. But this is what I don't understand. And maybe you guys and girls can help me out if there's someone from the States still listening. They don't want universal healthcare. They don't want to pay more taxes to get universal healthcare. But they're okay with paying money to or what is it called? Health companies, not Social Security, not Medicare, but to pay, pay a company X amount of dollars a month to get their basic healthcare covered. They're okay with paying a random company money to help them out with their healthcare, but they're not okay with paying the government money to help with their healthcare. I don't get that. And the argument I've heard is that, if you pay the government, I'm paying for someone else to get help. Well, if you're paying your healthcare provider, you're also paying for someone else to get help, because you don't use all the money. That's why it's a business for them. They make money. So you are paying for someone else getting treatment. You're just not paying the government. You're paying a business. And I never understood that so much, that it's okay for them to give healthcare money to businesses, but not the government. Because the businesses is there to make money, the government is not there to make money. What are you calling that? It's not Social Security. What the fuck is it? Healthcare insurance. Healthcare insurance. That is healthcare insurance. So they're okay with paying lamest healthcare insurance like $500 a month, so they don't have to pay most average healthcare stuff. Yeah, health insurance. Thank you. But they don't want to pay the government for the exact same thing. That could probably do it cheaper, because they're not a for-profit organization. So I never understood it, that, oh my god, we don't want to pay for Medicare or universal healthcare if it's the government. But then they go over to Lamer's fucking healthcare insurance company that is a for-profit company that is trying to make as much money as possible. So we're okay with overpaying for healthcare with them. Yeah, but you will get out of that trap if you stop privatizing healthcare. Then there's not that much money in it anymore. But yeah, those companies, the healthcare companies will probably get really angry, yeah. They would get really angry, yeah. But you also have to think about what's best for the people, Because a company don't give a fuck about its customers. The government should care about its people. That's why they are there. It's the people that elect them. But companies don't give a fuck about its users. They only care about its users as long as it's benefiting them. If I want to, I can pay for healthcare. I just get the basic covered. I can pay for private hospitals, private surgery, and all that fucking shit if I want to. But I don't have to. Yeah, I've heard that also, that they're trying to sell them stuff they don't need, yeah. Yeah, plot work. Yeah. I've heard about that. That if you get into debt because of medical stuff, that it won't go against you or something like that. Basically, if you can't pay, you don't have to. Something in that, like, roughly speaking. No, this is gnome. This is just gnome. Like, I go and get my plot work done every year. But I don't pay for it. Just to keep track on what's going on with my body. See if there's anything I need to, be aware of. I only use one extension. It's Arc Menu. And then of course it's Ubuntu GNOME, so they use like the dash to panel here, but I have only installed Arc Menu. All the rest comes with the Ubuntu. I have no idea. Maybe, I don't know. I haven't, maybe I do, I don't know. Yeah, I'm using Wayland. So depends on the state, if they can report it, and if it's under a certain amount, it can be reported, they lose their leverage. I have like a fucking heart that's covering over some of the text. It's really irritating. Maybe if I do it like this. Is it covering up? Not nothing worthwhile, so I could just do it like this. I don't have a browser. This is Chrome. I use whatever browser I feel like using. I don't care. I really don't care. I don't care what browser people are using, and I'm using the browser that I feel like using. I honestly don't know why that's a big issue with people. It's like caring about what fucking color underwear someone is wearing. Nerds care too much about meaningless shit. To be honest. I have this philosophy. If you're on your deathbed, what matters to you when you are on your deathbed is the only things you should be caring about. I have had no issue with Chromes on Wayland. I personally don't like using Firefox. So it's just there because it was pre-installed. 98% of the time is using Chrome on Wayland. And I'm happy with it. No issue with it whatsoever. So I don't recommend any of them. Just use whatever the fuck you want to use. That it's that simple. Do I even have hate stop in there? Oh, I do. Oh, by the way, for everyone saying 8 gigabytes is not enough in 2023, all my videos are recorded using an 8 gig system. If you see something on my computer, or on every OS you see on my videos, they are all running 4 cores, 8 gig of RAM. So everything I do in my videos is done on an 8 core Or not 8-core, 4-core, 8 gig of RAM system. I never heard anyone complaining about my lack of RAM in my videos. Never. Never heard anyone complaining about me running a virtual machine with only 8 gigs of RAM to showcasing Windows, Linux, and whatnot. Never. That just tells you how much bullshit that is. I had someone in my comment section recommending 32 gigs as a minimum in 2023. Okay? Yeah. I need to take the garbage out. I'm calling a fucking semi-truck. Like, okay. Fine. Yeah. And you still want me to believe that the comment section on YouTube is this like holy grail of fucking intelligent and insight to the universe? I think I got better fucking advice from a fucking crack whore on the street while I was buying a pizza. I'm like, what the fuck? Minimum 32. Yeah, okay. Fine. Fucking hell, man. Let's just, why 32? Why not fucking 128? Why not just go full? Why not fucking 1 terabyte while we at it, man? Come on, dude. Live a little. Fucking hell, let's go for it. It's like I was laughing my fucking tits off when I heard that one. And here's another one. You know what? You have to fucking use an NVMe that gets you like 5 gigabytes per second, or else you can't fucking do anything. And then they are running a system with a SATA SSD that goes up to like 500 megabytes per second max. And then they're telling people that you can't do anything unless you're buying a fucking massive, overpowered, high-speed SSD. And they forget that they're right now writing that fucking comment on a computer that probably max transfer speed is like, at most, a gigabyte. And that's only in bursts, not sustainable. Then it goes down to like, let's say, 200 or 170 megabytes per second after like the first 4 or 5 gigabytes. But the comment section on YouTube is the fucking joy of life, dude. The CPU is too weak, yeah. But CPU price has gotten down quite a lot lately. Or this year. Here's another newsflash. Oh, Windows is so unstable and you can't keep it running for a long time. It gets slower the longer you run it and stuff like that. I'm streaming from a Windows computer right now with a VM that's running Linux that's been up for 21 days, 16 hours, 21 days and 17 hours. Without any fucking visual or noticeable slowdown whatsoever. I love the internet. Will you all marry me, please? I want all the crazy people of the internet to come and live with me. Because then I can wake up and laugh. I will be laughing all fucking day. It's like a constant source of joy. And it makes me feel so fucking smart. Like I'm the smartest guy on earth. It's like, fucking hell. Some people, like, they just listen for a while, you know, just listen a little bit. You don't have to speak just because you think you have an idea in your head. It's fucking like, oh, some of the comments, man, on YouTube. And also when I'm looking at other people's videos, it's like, if I had a bad day, I'd just find like a somewhat controversial video someone is making in tech or something like that. And then I just go look at the comment section, and I'm like, maybe I should make videos about that, like crazy comments on YouTube or something like that. And then go and find, you know, weird ass fucking comments that people are giving. That could be kind of funny. That could be funny. it's fucking. Some of the fucking people on the internet, man. You work in the dev industry and leave it at that, NDAs and all that. But I could tell some crazy phone. Yeah, I bet you could. Yeah. That I bet you could. But yeah, I just like fucking comment sections, man. It's fucking funny. I don't know what gets into people's minds, man. I can't even fucking remember what I have used Firefox, but I don't know if I have any shortcuts. No, restore session, so I have used it. KDN Live. They have a news flash. I don't know. Like it feels like they need to clean the room a little bit. I don't know. Editing software do cost a fucking lot of money if you want something that's good, though. But if that's all the devs they have, like 4 people, that's kind of impressive what they have done so far. Oh, I saw a video. I haven't watched it because I don't want to get into that drama, but someone made a video why BSD is better than Linux. And I kind of want to watch it just to see the comment section because I would have a feeling, it's just a feeling that I have, that comment section will be like a gold mine for fucking toxicity from the Linux, not Linux computer, but from the Linux community. Like, I'm almost sure they would be, like, going bat shit crazy in that comment section. But I don't know, I haven't watched the video. Maybe I should do it. Maybe I should make a reaction video to it, I don't know. I don't know. We can contribute. We can do development, bug report, bug training, user manual. Timeline. There's so many ways you can help out this project. Why are we not helping out people? Okay, got it. It feels so clunky. I don't know what it is with. It just feels like fucking Duplo Lego bricks or something like that every time I use Firefox. I don't know what it is with it, but I never really liked it. Is that Mama Bird feeding Baby Bird? Yeah, it is. It's Bing wallpapers, if I'm not mistaken. Oh yeah, the file systems on Linux or BSD is amazing. Like, also there's less fragmentation between the kernel and user land on BSD. So BSD both do the kernel and user land. So you don't get so much toxicity from the Free Software Foundation because you're not using so many of their tools. So they're not trying to use your fucking software as a vessel for political activism. I do like my FreeBSD. It's just not like I had a NAS server running for a few years. It was the most stable thing I have ever fucking had in my life. I used it on an old computer, and it just worked, man. I used FreeNAS or what it's called. Well, not really, no. So Mac OS is using some part of the driver stack, some part of the network stack, and some part of the sound stack, and then their own little thing on top of it. And it's you know, yep. PlayStations have used BOS or BOS FreeBSD since day one. PlayStation OS is a FreeBSD, what do you call it? OS. I do like their mascot. Like, this is way cooler than a fucking fat penguin. I'm just going out there and say it. I want to see some screenshots. The foundation? Here's the thing. You feel the tightness of the OS when you use it. You don't feel like it's an accumulation of random parts forced together to do something. You actually feel like it's a system. You know, you feel like it's something that is built to do what it's doing. It's hard to explain, but you just feel that. When I use Linux, I always feel, okay, we have the kernel, we have the GNU tools, we have the desktop environment, and we have the package managers, and I always feel like it's just it's a random collection, depending on the distribution that you use, that are put together in a way that is kind of forced or hacked together or glued together to give us an experience. Or an OS where on the FreeBSD, I kind of get that Windows, Mac, haiku feeling where you feel it's one coherent system. You just get the feeling of it's one coherent system. Instead of just like random parts put together to make a car. But there is a lot of shortcomings with FreeBSD on the desktop, like a lot of shortcomings. Like FreeBSD today is probably where Linux was in 2004. Yeah, hardware support is a big issue, yeah. But on the servers love FreeBSD. Not mostly, but also because of the license. It's just way less restrictive. The BSD license is like a developer's dream. You can almost do whatever the fuck you want with that code. Almost. You don't have to suck with the Stallman's cock every time you do anything. Why is there no screenshot plays? We have artwork. But FreeBSD is a server OS. Like if you try, like if you're running FreeBSD on the desktop, you're fooling yourself. Oh yeah, they will. Yeah. No. A lot of people, they run Linux because they are hipsters. Don't fool yourself. A lot of people run Linux because it's unique, it's not so well known, and it's hip enough, or it's niche enough, but also working good enough that they don't have too many issues running it. So it's a niche, hip, little unknown thing, almost unknown thing, not so popular thing that's working really well and good enough for them, so not having to do a lot of, actually fixing the fucking system so they can run it. But had Linux not been so user accessible, a lot of people would not be running it. they would not be running it. Linux has kind of taken over that hipster crowd that used to run Mac OS. Most people, I will not say most because I don't know that for a fact, but a lot of people run Linux because it's unique. You know, they run it for the same reason. They only want to listen to this indie band or wear this, you know, lesser known indie clothes or beer, or drink that indie beer or something like that. If Linux became the most used operating system tomorrow, almost all, or if not most, of the current Linux user base will hate it. Look at Ubuntu. Everyone wanted a popular mainstream Linux distribution. We got one. Everyone is hating it. Everyone in the Linux community is hating it. Not everyone, but most people are. Because it's popular. You know, they don't want Linux because they like Linux. They want Linux because it makes them feel special. It makes them feel nice and special. That's the only fucking reason they're running it. They think it makes them feel smarter, you know, they know something we don't know, and they are superior than us, you know, because they have found a way to get around big business and big brother and all that fucking shit. Just like, I am not supporting big corporations, that's why I buy indie clothes, and not knowing that that indie company is owned by a big corporation, or they get their fucking, you know, yarn from the same fucking massive sweatshop in China or something like that. It's the same thing as saying like, oh, I eat only plant-based food because I don't want to kill a living creature for food. That basically means that they're okay with killing millions of mice and critters and bugs so they can get their fucking salad. But they don't want to kill a cute cow. So apparently a cow is worth more than a mouse. And that's the same reason why a lot of people run Linux. Oh, there are I would say a majority of people don't like Ubuntu. Yeah, and I think you can kinda associate that with popular Linux YouTubers publicly hating on Ubuntu for the only reason that it's popular. No. We already talked about this tinkering thing. Most users don't tinker with Linux, they maintain Linux. There's a massive difference. If you tinker, you are hands deep in the kernel, the daemons, the subsystems, the file system. If you have to copy paste a command to manual intervene and update, you are not tinkering, you are maintaining. Most Linux users have this false sense of greatness or perceived smartness because I can use the terminal. You know, no. Most Linux people, even fucking Arch Linux users and Gentoo users, are not tinkering. They are maintaining. I use the same equipment. It would be like someone knows how to switch a blinker or light bulb or tires on a car, and then I'm a mechanic now. That's big of the difference it is with what most people do on the Linux. I will guess my fat ass that 90% of those people that say they love to tinker don't even know how to use mstab or fstab. Or fstab, sorry. They don't even know what it is. Which is a basic bare bone file that handles your fucking USB devices and storage devices. You know, you cannot call yourself a tinkerer if you don't know what that file is or how to use it. And another example I use this is like taking paint off a wall and put a new paint on it versus building a wall. But yeah, in the 26 years I've been using Linux, when I talk to Linux users, they love talking about how everyone that's not using Linux have not seen the light, and how they have found Linux and gotten away from Big Brother and gotten away from the controllership of big business and governments and stuff like that. The same arguments hipsters use why they're using this little indie brand or drinking this little IPA beer and all of that fucking shit. It's the same arguments. You just switch Linux with a clothes brand or a record or a bar or fucking a music band. It's the same arguments they use. Why they're using it. I want to get away from big business. That's why I'm using Linux. Linux is sponsored by big businesses. 90, I don't know if 9, but most of the funding, both coding and financial, comes from American multi-million billion dollar companies. Without them, Linux would not exist today. So it's like, yeah, okay, you don't want to sponsor Microsoft or IBM or stuff like that. You just forget that they do a lot of fucking coding for the open source community. They give a lot of money to the open source community. Even Apple fucking sponsor the open source community. WebKit, that almost every fucking browser used like a few years back, like 5-10 years back, was built by fucking Apple. Quops is owned by Apple. There's a fork of it now, but up till like a few years ago, it was the only system under Linux, and it was owned and maintained by Apple. So if you had a printer and you were like, haha, fuck you big business, fingers up in the air, yeah, you were using a fucking system, or at least a tool that's being built and maintained by one of the richest fucking anti-consumer companies on earth. It's like, Linux users don't know what they are talking about. They think they do, but they don't. And that's the danger. They sit there and they think they're these smart fucking intelligent people. And then they're contradicting everything that they're saying within the first 2 fucking sentences. And it's driving me nuts. Just be honest and say, I like to use Linux because I'm using someone the majority don't use. I don't give a fuck. But don't sit here and say that you're smarter than me for running Linux. And everyone that runs Windows are stupid fucking mindless drones. The same company that you're getting away from, or want to get away from Windows and Mac OS, are the same companies that are making sure that Linux exists. Exact same companies. Intel, a massive sponsor for Windows. Intel, a massive sponsor for the Linux kernel. AMD, massive sponsor for Windows. AMD, massive sponsor for fucking Linux. And where do they get the money to sponsor Linux from? Windows. Windows sales. Windows is fucking financing a lot of Linux shit. Think about that a little bit. If there were no sale on Windows, they wouldn't have the money to put out to Linux, to sponsor Linux development. So basically, if you're going really like tinfoil hat out there, you should be fucking thanking Windows companies and Windows supporters. Yeah, HP. Why can HP support Linux? Because they sell a shit ton of fucking Windows laptops. Why can Lenovo sponsor Windows or Linux? Because they sell a shit ton of Windows products. System 76 is the only one not doing it, but they are not really that fucking popular. They are a company, they're doing well, but they're not doing HP money well. They're not doing Dell money well. So every time you see someone, yeah, we finally fucking, OBS, exactly. Yeah, OBS is a good example, yeah. Every time you see someone, yeah, HP is selling a Linux laptop. Yeah, they can only do that because there's a market for it, of course, but they can do that because they make the majority of their money from fucking Windows machines. If they only made money on Linux, they would probably not be as big as they are. They would probably not even fucking exist. Just look at that, I'm sorry, but I haven't seen a fucking good Linux-only laptop. They all look like shit. They all look like something I used in the fucking 90s. Maybe not the 90s, but in the 2010s. I would say the tuxedo computers are kinda there, but not really. System 76, they make good hardware. But that's just a fucking Chinese no brand name they use. Yeah. Acer had that, what the fuck is it called? Aspire 1? I think it is. Yeah, the Aspire 1 or something like that. But it's so fucking stupid. It's so fucking stupid. I don't know why they're doing it. Stupid ass people. But Acer had the Acer Aspire 1 with the Sandros OS on it, and they had... No, Fedora was the one doing the Sugar, I think. I can't fucking remember. It's the one laptop per child that used the Sugar UI. I think. Yeah, I think that's it. The one laptop per child was using the Sugar UI. But that was a massive fucking fail. Well, yeah. Well, let's use Valve as an example here. A company built up by selling games to a customer where they don't own the games. And it's so predatory, it takes 30% of all developers' revenue. They basically control almost 90+% of all game sales in the world and are massively anti-consumer. Let's support them. Let's say they are the good people. Well, that takes probably more telemetry of your system than any Windows install ever will do. Yeah, they are the good guys. Like, if or when Linux users, they start to, wake up and they actually look into what they are saying, and then it's like, how is Windows or Linux even a thing today? What makes Linux happen today? The things that I am using, what are they doing? Like, what are my browser doing? What are my, my IDE doing? What is my media player doing? And when you look into all of that, if you run away from Windows because of privacy or Mac OS because of privacy, you may only be 10% more secure or private. That's it. Does 10% matter? A little bit. Yeah, everything matters, but if you only are 10% more private, in the grand scheme of things, that's highballing it. If you're 5-10% more private, you're not even close to being private. You're just fooling yourself. So instead of giving Microsoft your data, you're giving Chrome and Google and Valve and all of the other fucking YouTube and all of the other fucking people on Earth that your data. That's okay. Just not Microsoft. It just makes, just makes no fucking sense to me. Yeah, the Pine phone, yeah, I don't know why they love that so much. It was fucking irritating. Yeah, the holiness of Valve, oh god. The Google, the biggest anti-consumer company to ever exist. The biggest data collection company to ever exist. This delusional world that Linux users live in is not existing. Like, if you really want to do what they say they want to do, you really want to tinker, run Haiku OS. Run FreeBSD. But then, I can't play my games, all my hardware don't work, and this is not working correctly, and oh, now I have to fix this, I have to help code this to get it to work. Yeah, that's tinkering. Linux is a mainstream OS. It's a mainstream OS. It has the same market share as Mac OS had in the 90s. It's a mainstream OS. No, look at it like this. In 30 years, Linux has gained 3% of the desktop. So the biggest predictor of the future is what happened in the past. So let's say it advances a little bit faster the last couple of years. That will say that in the next 30 years, at most, Linux would probably be at 6, 7, maybe 8%. If we are even using desktops in 30 years. And we're not all moved over to some form of handheld devices running whatever fucking OS that will be. You know, most Linux users are posers. I should make a video called Linux users are posers. That will fucking piss people off. Oh, that would really piss people off. Like, I haven't installed this yet on my Mac, but I need to install this on my Mac. I can run the exact same fucking open source software on Mac OS as you can run on your Linux distribution with Homebrew. And I can use more proprietary software that is really powerful and really fucking good and industry standards in a lot of jobs. And I get better peripheral support. Yeah, Brew install software name, exactly. Get your nerd on, peeps. Yes, you do. When I buy a mouse, there is a higher chance that mouse works with all its features on Mac OS than it does with Linux. I can use it on Linux, but I don't get all the extra bells and whistles with it as I would if the accommodated software was supported. Logitech is supported under Mac OS, not Linux. And the alternative software that is under Linux don't give me all the features that the Logitech software gives me. I could go on and on and on and on. Like I said, I've been doing this for 26 years. I have a little bit of an idea of what I'm talking about here. Just a little bit. You know, I mained Linux for 16 years when everyone was like, couldn't fucking figure out how to install a Linux distribution. I used Linux when you had to hard code your fucking hard drives into your Linux system. Where plug and play, that was a fucking town in Russia or something like that. And if you want like really good multi-threading and tasking under Linux, you had to pray to God it didn't fucking fuck it up for you. Mac, it's an OS. There is no OS that's the best. There is the best tool for your job. And what you with big letters, you like to use. Anything else, if someone tells you what to use, you don't listen to them. Nobody should force you to use any software unless you get paid for it, of course. Like if your employer is like, you have to use this software and this OS, you use it, that's what you get money for. But if any hobbyist tells someone what to use, run away from them. Because they are not interested in you as a person, they're interested in promoting a product. They are basically a salesperson for that product. They are a sheep for that product. It all is about you. The second they're like, okay, you have to use this. You should use this. Unless they can give you a massive fucking good reason, run away. Like if they're like, you should use this because anything else would not work with what you want to do, listen to them. But if you ask them a question, and every time you ask them a question, it's always Linux open source, Linux open source, Linux open source, run away. If they ask you about Or software, it's always, let's say, LibreOffice, 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 run away. Here's the thing. Ubuntu, the first ever release of Ubuntu made Linux so much more accessible than 90% of the fucking Linux distributions out there. There were only 2 other Linux distributions that was better than the first Ubuntu release. That was SUSE and Mandrake. Everyone else was dog shit. Some of them have great installers that look nice, but the OS or the distribution ran like shit. If you're looking at the whole package as a consumer-friendly Linux distribution, before Ubuntu there was SUSE and there was Mandrake, and then Ubuntu came along, and within like the first 2 releases, Ubuntu was already vastly ahead of any other Linux distribution when it comes to accessibility. When I hear someone say I started on Ubuntu, it's kind of like saying that I started to drive in a semi-self-driving car, because Ubuntu do so much for the user that it's not even funny. And that's not a knock on Ubuntu, we need that, but when you're using systems like Ubuntu, you're not doing much. Even for back in the day when Ubuntu came around, it was hand-holding the user a lot. And a lot of people didn't like that. But we need that. We need those kind of systems. Don't get me wrong, I love Ubuntu. But you have not run Ubuntu until you ran Slackware without the package manager. That's when you have run Linux. Install Slackware and don't use the package manager that's with Slackware right now. You had to compile every package from scratch. And you had to be the dependency resolution person, the library resolution person. You were the package manager. You. Then you fucking know what it is to run Linux. Most people would not have started Linux without Ubuntu because they could not get their head around it. And that's just a fact. And that's nothing against Ubuntu. Because a desktop OS should not be that fucking difficult to run on a desktop. But it also is saying that because Ubuntu is so accessible, it waters down a lot of things for the consumer, which is good and it should be doing. But you can't sit and say that I'm this fucking, hey Henrik, this amazing know-it-all smart-ass Linux user when I started using with Ubuntu. No, starting with Ubuntu is like starting with Windows. You know, or your first OS was Mac OS. It's kind of like that. Can you learn a lot on Ubuntu? Of course you can. You can learn anything on any operating system whatsoever. There's no operating system that will not allow you to learn the same things. What you can learn on Linux, you can learn on any other operating system. It's just a matter about, do you want to? I never really got into iWorks. I don't know why. It just felt like a really, like, funny enough, a bad knockoff of LibreOffice or OpenOffice. Debian 2.1, yeah. Yeah, them were the days, man. But the snap technology is not even new. Self-contained packages has been a thing since the mid-90s. If not even long before that. People are just like, Linux people in general are just afraid of change. Because then their expertise is obsolete. And they are afraid of learning new things. Which is sad, but yeah. A lot of the reasons why people don't like Snap or Flatpaks is because they know deb or RPM packs and they have been using them for decades. And they are working well enough for them because that's what they know. They know how to mess with or tweak it to do what they want. If it acts up, they know it. They know all the pitfalls and all the loose screws and all the weird noise that it makes once in a while. They know how to fix them really easy and convenient. They know all the ins and outs of it. And then this new thing comes out that they barely know anything about, and it's scary, and that's why a lot of people don't like them. Which is just human psychology, I guess. I don't know. I just find it, again, hypocritical. Well, why is Linux moving to containerized stuff? Because Linux is a corporate server operating system. What is the most of the focus on Linux being focused on? That sounds really weird. The server market. What is the biggest distributions mainly working on? The server market. And workstations, but mostly the server market. Linux on the desktop is a pipe dream. Linux on the desktop is only a thing as long as there are a need for workstations running Linux, not as long as there is a need for someone to use Linux as an editing machine. As long as Linux is useful as a scientific computer and workstation, that's as long as Linux will be a desktop system. When that day comes, they don't need Linux for that anymore. It will just be Linux on the server market. The thing that keeps Linux alive is the server market. It's the workstation market. It's not the Linux desktop. The Linux desktop is only existing for the hobbyists and the believers. And that should tell you everything that you... Like, every Linux company that tried to be basically what Apple is, a desktop-focused OS with Linux, all failed. All of them have failed. I think there's only one that we can say is a success. That's Linux Mint. That's like I would say that's a success. But it's not that big either. Linux Mint is not really that widely used compared to Ubuntu. And Sorian is doing a lot of things to cater to the corporate world also. Like, they're doing everything they can to cater to the workstation area of Linux, aka the corporate world. Then we have Linux Mint, that more or less is only focusing on the desktop. And we have Elementary OS that's more or less looks like it's just waiting to die. Like, I'm sorry to say it, but hey Don, it just, I'm sorry to say it, but Elementary OS just, it looks like a project that just, like, it's like just hanging on by one fucking thread or something like that. It really, like, it slowed down, developers have left, and it's gone too much politics into it, and yeah, it Elementary was just feel like, it feels like it's going to die in the near future. And then anyone else is just small little hobby projects, testing small little ideas. Any major Linux distribution all focused almost 90% of their effort on the server corporate world. Even fucking Ubuntu does that. When was the last time you saw Ubuntu say, this is really great for you to consume media? Oh, we optimized video editing for Ubuntu. We optimized audio production for Ubuntu. We optimized YouTube consumption for Ubuntu. You never hear that. It's always, better SQL searches, better workstation, whatever the fuck they figured out, and all of these crazy shit that is catered towards businesses, workstations, and servers. Even Wayland is focused on the fucking workstation server market. Because they want a better fucking experience on the laptops. They want to they want to use trackpads better. On a business laptop for coding purposes. It took me 26 years to realize all this fucking shit, people. Sadly enough, I spent too much fucking effort and money trying to get away from Apple and Windows. Heck, I just spent $600 getting away from Windows by buying a Mac Mini. And people still say I'm a Windows fanboy. I just don't get it. Yeah, is Elementary always want to be Apple of Linux? I don't think so. I run Linux and Mac OS on my main rig right now. I have two main rigs. I have a Mac Mini and my gaming computer. And I think I would be running a mix between Mac OS and Windows as my main from now, at least for the next few months. So my idea is that my Windows machine is going to be my gaming machine, coding machine, virtualization machine. And editing and everything else is going to be done on Mac OS. So consuming content, basically my daily, my leisure machine, besides gaming. So that would be shopping, shit like that, So my Windows machine is only for gaming, coding, recording, kind of business and gaming. Virtualization stuff. So it's basically like it's a workstation gaming computer now, where my Mac OS is what you will call a family computer. What you will use as a family computer. Things you would do. Casual computing, I think you would call it, with video editing on it. And the fun thing is that my Mac Mini is not that much faster than my Windows machine. But, and this is a big but, it's so fucking quiet. I didn't know this would impact me so much. But when I have a liquid cooling, because if you're running a 7000 series AMD processor or newer generation Intel processor, you need liquid cooling. You need an AIO. Can you run it on an air cooler? Yeah. But when you start to do heavy fucking CPU things, it will struggle. And when I was editing, I could hear my fans go off. Not massively go off, but I could hear them. They were irritating to listen to. If I'm listening to a video, I don't want to hear while I'm trying to listen to a fucking audio track. And when I was rendering, it will make not ear-piercing sound loud, but it was like having a fan in your face. When I'm editing, I recorded a video with my microphone over the fucking Mac Mini while it was rendering a video, and you could not hear it whatsoever. And I was making a talking head video. For some reason, I know it's a fucking stupid thing, but for some reason that's what, like, I'm like, that was like, yep, I'm editing on Mac from now on my Mac Mini from now on, because I don't have to listen to those fucking fans. Not that they were irritating, well, apparently they were, but I could live with them before. I just crank up, the sound a little bit to drown out the fans. But I hear it. I don't hear it at fucking all. Yes, I could get more noise-optimized fans on my system, but then, you pay with higher temperatures. And you will still hear noise. It's like, let's just say if it takes 5 minutes to render a video on my 12 core, like my 7600 X. Is that the right name? AMD's R5 7600X. 6-core, 12 hyper-threaded. So if that takes 5 minutes, on my Mac Mini, it will probably take little under 4 minutes to 4.5 minutes, depending on what I'm doing, of course, and stuff like that. But I don't hear it at all. At all. And I'm not joking. Right now I'm looking at it. It's like 30 centimeters away from me right now. And it's running. Not only is it small and checklist, I have it under my fucking monitor. You know, between my speakers. And it's as powerful as something that's in a massive fucking box over there. Making shit ton of noise compared to, like, it's not unbearable noise, but it's making a shit ton of noise anyway. The only thing the Mac Mini can't do as well as my computer is gaming. I can't play Starfield on it, for example. That's the only thing my computer do better than my Mac Mini right now, is gaming. But I can get, right now, for the same price as my graphic card, a Xbox Series S. And that will play games better than my graphic card does right now, the one I have right now. I actually think I wasted money upgrading my computer because my previous build, that was a 3600. It did virtual machining really fucking well. Really well. It did video recording and recording from a virtual machine like this one here and streaming like I'm doing right now really well. The only reason I upgraded was because it was not doing that well in gaming. But with the prices of graphic cards and stuff like that, I should just have bought a Xbox or PlayStation, to be honest. I would have saved money. And then just use my old system. I actually still have it standing here somewhere. And then my old system could just be like a streaming computer, a virtual machining computer, and Windows coding computer, because it did all of that with no issue whatsoever. I just didn't want to use Windows anymore. I want something different than Windows, and Linux didn't do it for me. Linux was too much me being a janitor for Linux, a maintenance guy for Linux. I don't want to sit down and do work and then fuck, now I have to fix this thing. Okay, let me fix this thing. Oh, there was an update. Half of the fucking shit don't work anymore. I don't want... Am I saying it's never going to happen on Mac OS? No, it will happen at one time on Mac OS. But it happens more frequently on Linux. And I'm at a stage in my life, I don't want to be a slave to my OS. If I want to tinker, I am the one that decides when I want to tinker. It has to be on my terms, not when the OS tells me to do it. Well, if you get a Mac Studio, you can game, yeah, but it's like a $2,000+ computer. For that kind of money, get a fucking Xbox and a shit ton of games, or PlayStation, or build a high-end gaming computer. Like, yeah, I will not buy a Mac for gaming. No. Not at all. But if you're buying a Mac Studio for, let's say, video production and stuff like that, you can play a lot of good games on it, yeah. And with the new M3 chip, you can ray trace to high heaven and back on it, apparently. Is the new one having a chip in it, or am I just really out of line here? M3 chip. I'm actually debating on getting an iWatch or Apple Watch, but I don't know. I may still just buy a Sunto or something like that. If you go into the good old Maggie boy here and do Studio. My Mickey Mouse blog. Oh, it's still just using the M2 chip. Ah, suck. But the M3 chip has ray tracing now. You get that in the MacBook Pro and the iMac. They have the M3 chip in them. Yeah. Well, a lot of gamers, they do spend about $200 for a gaming computer, or maybe $1,500 plus. You know, if you think about all the peripherals and all the LED shit and expensive case and expensive cooling and all that shit. Like, it's not unheard of that you see, you know, streamers and professional gamers and people that game 8-9 hours a day spending that kind of money on a gaming computer. But I do also think that most people is more like in the 1,000 range. You know, they're probably more in the 1,000 range. But I do like... let me put it this way. Let me be 1,000% honest. So I bought the Mac Mini. And I could have saved 1/8 if I want to get it over the weekend. But I was like, I have the money. I'm an impatient motherfucker. I'm paying 5% extra just to get it today. Because there were sites online that had deals on it and stuff like that. Or I could get it at my local hardware store and pick it up like 3 hours after I bought it, because I bought it at 6 in the morning to make sure that it was in stock and nobody else bought it. But I paid a little bit extra so I could get it the same day. And I went down and got it. I went out shopping because it was cold as shit and I wanted something, you know, something to drink. And some hot to drink and stuff like that. I went home. I unpacked it. And I was like, this is a small little sucker. Anyway. Plugged it into my system. Or my monitor. Set it up. Booted it up. Connected my peripherals. And did all of that fucking shit. And instantly, when I got into, you know, like this kind of place here with macOS was just like, but done with all the setting up. Instantly, I got buyer's remorse. Was this a smart thing to do? Instantly. I was like, I could have gotten this. I could have upgraded my graphic card. I could have gotten a case that was a little bit better. You know, all of these things I could have gotten for my computer that would also have helped me. And I would also have liked to have. I could have gotten a fucking Xbox X or PlayStation. If I got a PlayStation, I could play with my brother. You know. Which I haven't been able to play with him for close to 10 years. Because he's a PlayStation guy. So all of these thoughts were in my head. And then I start, you know, messing with it, installing things, setting it up. Nah, it's not that bad. And it was like, yeah, it feels like fucking running Ubuntu. You know, like it's just a prettier version of fucking Ubuntu. You know, that also came into my head the first day. And then it started to talk to my phone. It's like, yeah, this is kind of neat. I take a picture and it's just automatically synced into my computer without me having to drag it into what is it's called under Google Drive or OneDrive. It just automatically syncs to my computer when I take a picture and stuff like that. And a lot of these copy paste just works instantly and over the device. And there's a lot of neat things there. But I wasn't that impressed with the ecosystem as much as I thought I would be. I thought that, okay, I have an iPhone. I get a Mac Mini. It's going to fucking blow my mind with the ecosystem. Not there yet. Not even close to being there yet. It has some neat little features. The whole widget things is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Who the fuck want a widget that you can't see when you're putting your fucking, you know, browser on top of it? It's rendered useless. Oh, you want to see it? Click on the desktop and remove everything so you just can see how much the weather is today. And they have a button you click up here and all the widgets come here on the side. That's way more useful. Just like Windows have down in the bottom. So there was like these small little fucking irritating design decisions that they have made with macOS. I'm like, It feels like Ubuntu, just a more coherent, better design, better UX Ubuntu. I can run software, I can run on Ubuntu, that's a plus. But I was not that impressed, to be honest. I was really not that impressed. And then the day, I got it in the morning, and then over the day, I was like, yeah, let's do some more stuff on it, and I did some more stuff on it. Like, let's try and edit a video on it. And that's the first time I was like, now it makes sense for me. And that was not because it was that much fast, because I was actually disappointed. It was like, this is only like 5% faster than my fucking, computer that... I think my computer, with all the components I have in it, is about probably $600 also. Maybe a little bit more. So I'm like, I just basically bought another computer that I can't game on. That's only like 1 or 2% faster than my other computer. So that was a little bit disappointed. But then it was like the noise. It was like, oh, I don't hear the computer. I didn't have to play a YouTube video while it was rendering to drown out the noise from the fans. And I didn't feel the heat from... I'm not joking here. I can feel the heat from my computer when it's working at max capacity after 2 or 5 minutes. Because components get so fucking hot nowadays. Because they're drawing so much power. And that was when I was like, this... I could get into this fucking shit. I can get into this shit. And then I got an external hard drive, 1 terabyte hard drive. Capable of 1000 megabytes read-write speeds. When I get the right cable for it, of course. Because the cable they give with you is just a USB 2 cable. That only can do 400 or 500 is read-write speed. But then I got that extra external hard drive because I have the basic model. 250 gig, 8 gig of RAM. And then I was just starting to use it. Not think about that I was on Mac OS, and I started to enjoy it more. Just started enjoying it more. And now I got it Thursday last week. Yeah, Thursday I think it was last week. And I'm using it as much as I'm using my Windows machine right now. I almost only boot into or I switch the screen output because my Windows machine is on all the time. I only use my Windows machine either to have on my... right now I only have 1 monitor connected to my iMac or my Mac Mini, and I have my 2 monitors connected to my Windows machine. So I use one of the screens for watching YouTube or Netflix and stuff like that, basically consuming content, while I'm using my Mac Mini. And the only reason I fully utilize I changed over to my Windows machine is for gaming, recording content, virtual machining content like I'm doing right now, streaming as I'm doing right now. That's it. And in the morning, because I don't have my speakers connected to my Mac Mini, I'm using headphones. But when I connect my speakers to my Mac Mini, I will probably be using my Mac Mini a little bit more than my Windows machine. And I just enjoy it a little bit more than Windows. But that was after I installed a few little programs, like Red Angle, and I have recorded or will record some videos about some of the programs I like to use the most. That until I started to use them, Mac OS actually became its own thing. It sounds weird that you have to, install a few little programs. All free, by the way. But when you do that, Mac OS just becomes so much more. And I'm just enjoying it. And then I start to interact with Discord, and I posted a picture for my members from my Instagram. I posted that to my members. I didn't have to fiddle with OneCloud or Google Cloud or Google Drive. I just went into my fucking photo program with what the fuck it's called. on my Mac Mini, and there were all my pictures from my phone, and I just drag and drop that into, Chrome, and then I could share the picture. It's all those little convenient things that the more I use it, they kind of creep up on me. And that makes me want to use it more. Those little, small little conveniences and quality of life improvements that Mac OS have over any other OS. And I think that's it. And the power draw. Dude, when I'm rendering a video, the max it uses was 70 watts. It's not 17 watts, sorry. 17 watts. Watts. I think my computer idle is using more than that. Like, I have iStat menu. If you don't know what iStat is, I need to make a video on that one also. I have this one here. It can show you all kind of information in the menu bar up here. And it tells you how much watts the computer is using. I'm hovering around like 4 to 6 fucking watts doing normal everyday tasks. Like if I had the money, if I could be like backbone enough to save up for a Mac Studio, I will have one of those also. But like I said, I'm an impatient guy. I can't wait, man. I'm not good at saving money. I'm getting better with age, but if I could be like, stubborn enough and backbone enough, I would probably also go for a Mac Studio. But it is an expensive piece of hardware, don't get me wrong. It is an expensive piece of hardware. And you also have to think a little bit about the dongle life. It can be expensive, the dongle. Like you can get dongles that's, $600+ almost. But yeah, I was like, I was just looking at the temperature. So like 40 degrees, and like that's not much. And then I look at the wattage. It's like 3 watts, 10 watts here, 4. But it's hovering between 3 to 6 watts on everyday use. And then when I'm rendering, it's with DaVinci Resolve, by the way, it's running up to like 17, 20 watts. It's an ARM chip. It's the system on a chip design. That's why it's using that little wattage. It's because of the design of the chip. It's just that more efficient. The M3 is more powerful than the M2, but that they are also putting more watts into it. It's also running a little bit harder. And I have heard people say that you hear the fans more on the M3 than you do on the M2 chip. So I'm kind of glad I didn't went with the M3. Well, I can't get a Mac Mini with the M3, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of glad that they don't have an M3. Because I think the main focus on the M3 was, of course, a little better multi-core performance, a little bit of everything, more of everything, but most of the focus went into the graphic cards on the chip. They put a lot of effort into the graphic cards, and I think that's why it's drawing a little bit more power and stuff like that. But it's nothing near, your Intel or AMD system running idle. I don't even know can we see what do okay, so idle, it uses 2 watts. Like the 7600 graphic card. That's just the graphic card. So if we then go in and say, so that's 18 watts for my CPU. Let's take a calculator here. So 2 watts for the graphic cards, 18 for the CPU, or yeah, CPU. That's 20. A motherboard. That's CPU. This is with a processor in it. Why is that using 73 watts? Makes no sense. What do we have here? Let's see if we can figure out what a whole fucking system just Oh, the GPU can use about 40 powers. I don't know where they got the 2 powers from then. Oh, you also have to think about your RAM modules, of course. So let's say 40 watts in total. So here, 27 to 35 watts idle. This guy is saying that's still more. That's still more than the Mac Mini use rendering a video. That's almost like 7 watts at the lowest more than a Mac Mini use rendering a video. Well, you can't get a Mac Studio with the M3. It's only on MacBook Pros and iMacs at right now, though. I don't know if the Mac Studio will get the M3, but you are getting better cooling on the Mac Studio. And you can get like the Mac 2 Pro and Ultra, which also will run a little bit harder, of course, and consume. Well, if it's a Mac Ultra, I think it's like twice the die size, so twice the. It's basically just 2 CPUs get together. If the Pro, I think it is, or the Ultra, I can't remember. Maybe it's the Pro that's 2 put together. So it will probably just consume the double amount of wattage. So a Mac Studio will probably consume the same rendering as an idle computer would. So if you're not using your Windows computer at all, a Mac Mini Studio will probably use about the same or a little bit more than an idle Windows computer while you're rendering. If you're not rendering, it's definitely going to use less than an idle Windows computer. That's bonkers. Then the second you start to do anything with your computer, gaming, looking at web pages, your CPU is going up. Like the Ryzen 7600 can draw like 120 or 30 watts maximum. So when it goes full tilt, that's like 3 times the fucking rendering wattage of a Mac Mini. It'll probably be 3 times the rendering wattage of a Mac Studio. It just tells you how inefficient Windows component, like not Windows itself, but a Windows computer, like a computer is nowadays. And it's because of the design. It's so old and outdated that they can't optimize it more. The only way they can get more out of the hardware is to give it more electricity, more power. That's the only way. They can't really optimize the design so much more, but they can feed it more power. They instead of optimizing the design, they're basically just overclocking your CPUs for generation with power. The more power to give you more speed. And that's the sign of a design that's on its last legs. Because at some point, you can't give it more power. It will burn. Or you need like a fucking cooling solution the size of a house or apartment. And that's why the M chips are so efficient, because it's a new design. Well, not really new, but it's system on a chip. It's more efficient. Don't have all the legacy shit. It's kind of newer design than the x86-64 design. But at some point, this will come to that point also where we can't get more out of this ARM process, and then we need to go to something else. Maybe quantum computing or something like that. I'm actually thinking about getting an Xbox just to game on. I'm tired of buying overly expensive graphic cards to then next year needed a new one. I'm sorry to say it, but I feel like gaming graphic card companies don't give a fuck about gaming anymore. It's all AI this, AI that. If you think about it, all this upscaling technology and all that shit we have on our graphic cards, they have that because the graphic cards cannot become much more faster to keep up with, the screens and resolution that the consumer want. So they are cheating, by not making more powerful graphic cards because they just can't. Then they're using upscaling, which is an AI technology. And what they learn by doing AI for us gamers, they can use in the corporate world. That knowledge they can use in the corporate world. Where people buy, AI modules for thousands of dollars per module. Like tens of thousands of dollars. Maybe we are just fucking test monkeys for AI. So they're using all this upscaling, all that fucking shit on basically underpowered graphic cards so we can game on them, and then using us as test subjects to see how to do it the best way possible, to then sell it to like Hollywood and render farms and AI farms and stuff like that. I honestly don't think AMD or Intel give much fucks about gamers anymore, to be honest. Like, Nvidia is definitely on the fucking AI train. They just make gaming graphic cards because there's still a big market for it. Or big enough market for it. Well, not M chips, but ARM chips, yeah. Like system on a chip design is going to be the next thing. But I have a feeling that the desktop computer, like the upgradable desktop computer, will be dead when they do that. Like when that happens, you can't upgrade your computer anymore. Not to the extent you can do today. Upgradability on hardware is kinda a dying thing. Just look at laptops. Like, you used to be able to almost change anything on a laptop. You can't do that anymore. You may get like a NVMe slot and a RAM slot to expand that. That's it. Everything else is like sorted onto the fucking chips, the motherboard, because it's cheaper, it's faster, and that so they can sell you cheaper and faster computers. If they have to build things that are repairable, they have to build the connections, the sockets, and all that fucking shit. That costs money. It takes more time production-wise, and blah, 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 blah. The desktop computer's future is looking the way Macs and laptops are today. Really limited upgradability, if at all. But you also have to remember, people are gaming way more now on tablets and phones than ever before. Probably more than they are PC gamers. You see, every fucking big game nowadays are on mobile. Even World of Warcraft is dabbling with going mobile. That's the future for gaming. Consoles and mobiles are the future of gaming. It's that simple. And the generation of kids we have nowadays, they are born into the buy and not upgrade world. They don't know any better. Because they're growing up with tablets and phones. They're not growing up with big beige cases of components on their desk, like we were when we were kids. So the desktop, and a lot of people hate me for saying this, but the desktop is dying. They are being sold less and less desktops and gaming desktops each fucking year, and it's being outsold by gaming consoles and mobile gaming year after year. Mobile gaming is the most expanded sector in the last fucking 3 or 4 years. The one that's expanding the most. So what the gaming experience they're getting on a mobile device is enough for them, apparently. It must be good enough. Gaming is a perfect time killer while 12. Yeah, it is. But also at home. You see a lot of fucking people gaming on tablets and mobiles at home. You see more and more people connecting a 32 fucking inch monitor to their tablet to game. And for all of the haters out there, just fucking search that shit on YouTube. There are dedicated channels that doing the hashtag tablet life, kind of like hashtag van life thing. There are dedicated channels showing you, and people that are living tablets only. They don't have a laptop, they don't have a desktop. And they do everything a YouTuber needs to do on a tablet. It's not far from happening, people. It's like fucking close. Like really close. Super close. Everything I'm doing right now besides streaming, but everything I'm doing on the Windows you see here, I can do on a tablet. No issue. Video editing, do it on a tablet. DaVinci Resolve, Premiere Pro, they all fucking Final Cut. They on tablets. Artist software on tablet. Photo editing software on tablets. It's all fucking on tablets nowadays, or mobile devices, let me put it that way, because you can also get it for phones. The only reason you would need a Windows machine for is if you're playing a game you can't get other than on a computer. It's way more beneficial and cost efficient for you to just buy either a tablet, but probably a console. In the long run. In the long run, it's cheaper for you to just buy a console than having a gaming computer. Because everything else you can do on a gaming computer, you can do on your phone or tablet. Or get a cheap-ass laptop. The only reason why to have a massive big computer is to do games that you can't play anywhere else. And those exclusives are getting really, really like few and far between nowadays. It's mostly MMOs. And MMO market has been dying a slow death also the last, like, at least like MMOs in the form of World of Warcraft, New World, and stuff like that. They've been dying a slow death the last 4 or 5 years. And now it's like, Raid Shadow Legends and all that fucking shit that's, microtransaction-filled bullshit that's been taking over the MMO market. And a lot of people don't like to hear this because they have spent 20, 30, 40 years, 50, 60 years doing computing with desktops. A big box. But if I take my Mac Mini, even if I take a Mac Mini and an Xbox Series S and hold that up against, not Xbox Series S, Xbox X, which is a big one, it's a big boy, and hold that up against my media tower I have, or not even a tower, it's like a, what do you call it? MIT, not MITX, but not Mini ITX, but just a normal size case. It's still twice the fucking size than my Mac Mini and an Xbox Series X combined. And it's using way more power than those two combined. Mid tower, there you go, thank you. So it's using more power, it's taking more disk space, it's making more noise. And it's more expensive. Than buying a Mac Mini versus a Xbox Series X on sale. And then you can do the exact same things as you can do on your computer. It's getting harder and harder to sell a desktop to people that are not into the hobby of computing. If you are a computer hobbyist, you like the hardware part of it, you like the software part of it, you like the building your own machine part of it, and you like, those kind of things. Yeah, computers for you, but you also in the minority. I can put a dongle into any USB, I can put a USB dongle into any USB phone or tablet, and I can connect my gaming peripherals to it, and I can use it. If I have USB mice, controllers, and keyboards, they work on Android and iOS. I can just connect them via Bluetooth, sorry. I don't... They've been talking about, they also, here's the thing with Microsoft. Here's the thing with any company. They love to talk and speculate. Don't believe anything until there is a clear official statement. Anything else is basically just speculations or testing or R&D or stuff like that. Until something is, hey, said something is going to be released. It's going great, man. I hope you're well also. Until something is physically going to be released next month or next year, then you can start to believe it. Microsoft has tried and said a lot of things over the years. So have Apple, same with Linux. You know, we still haven't had the Ubuntu TV yet, you know. We still haven't had the Ubuntu phone yet. They abandoned that shit, but they talked a lot about it for a few years. It depends on where the market goes, dude. You know, if there is money to be made somewhere, that's the way they're going. But if they are making enough money to justify what they're doing right now, why change direction? Because you don't really know if you can make it in that field. They probably will do handheld gaming. They have talked about doing something like, you know, the PlayStation Portable and the Steam Deck. They've talked about that for a long time. And I think they will do that. You know, they would have like a streaming device, handheld device, that is talking to your Xbox. So you can play your Xbox library just like a Steam Deck, you know. Oh yeah, Linux users are experts in speculating and talking their own fucking promises. Like the year of the desktop should have happened 20 times already. They're a little bit like Jehovah's Witnesses in that aspect. For over 20 years, the Linux desktop should have happened each year. And they find all kind of copier methods to justify that this is the year of the Linux desktop. This year is because of the Steam Deck. Last year it's because of snap packages or flat packages. Or the year before that it was because of Wayland or something. They find some fucking weird ass fucking justification why this year's the year of the Linux desktop. And it never fucking is. You know, it's like... it's borderline gaslighting at this point. You know, it's like fucking... Just stop it. Just, who gives a fuck about the year of the Linux desktop? I don't give a fuck. Nobody gives a fuck if Linux become the most popular fucking... Or third popular or second popular system ever. Nobody gives a fuck. If Linux became the most popular OS tomorrow and it's still in the state it's in today, well, that won't happen because it's in the state. But if it happened, a lot of people will not be satisfied. They will go all the way. So it will only be the most popular desktop for a year or something like that. Unless they fix all the fucking things they need to fix. And I could talk like for a day and weeks about the things they need to fix before that happen. But yeah, it's I've heard it for so many years. When I was a teenager and I was reading fucking bulletin boards and forum posts and mail threads and this year, and podcasts talking about why it would be this year or next year, and like, yeah. Yeah. You told me you will suck my dick for 26 years, and I'm still standing here with my dick out in the cold, warming it up with my hands, and no sucky. I think you may have made me out to be a fool here. Just putting it out there. You know, who the fuck tests a computer to 50 meters or 5,000 meters altitude? Who fucking takes a computer up to the mountains to test it? Okay, it won't work in under 10 degrees centigrade. Oh. Look, this fucking whole computer with its screen only uses max 100, and this is as much as a Ryzen Let's say a Ryzen 7600X my CPU do running full tilt. It uses about this amount of wattage, just the CPU. And they run a whole fucking computer off that with a screen. A 24-inch, I think. It's a little bit... I will say this. I uninstalled GarageBand. I uninstalled iMovie. I uninstalled Keynotes. I uninstalled Numbers. I don't like those fucking programs. I uninstalled Pages. I may get back to it at some point, testing it out, but for now they are off the fucking machine. Get out of here. Go away. I don't want you. But yeah, Linux, I'm still waiting for you to touch my penis. You dirty little teasing boy. The little teasing penguin. Yeah, it's a 24-inch. How much would this be if we spec it out to the gills? Let's see that. It's probably fucking expensive as fuck. So this is the most expensive one. What is that giving us? That? So we're getting more GPU cores, that's it. And more storage. This is fucking robbery, by the way. Like, this is crazy expensive. And just buy an external hard drive. It's way good enough for what everyone... You can even edit fucking 4K videos off an external hard drive. Yeah, it's a little bit insane. But let's max it out here. Let's do mouse and trackpad also. That's funny enough, that's not that fucking expensive. Let's do a Magic Keyboard, Touch ID, and we want the keypad. We don't want the keys also. We don't want Final Cut Pro. We don't want Logic Pro. So that's 2,858. And that's still just a 24-inch screen, I guess. Right? Yeah, that dude is so fucking, like, holy crap. Like, like, how can he fucking function in that brain? Yeah, they're all 24-inch displays. I do like 27-inch. I feel that's a good size. It's big enough and not too big. Yeah, that dude is fucking lost it, man. He's like, if a penguin came up to him and said, drink this fucking acid, he will drink it. He has lost any fucking critical thinking whatsoever when it comes to Linux and open source. That's just way out in the fucking woods, man. It's like a foreign concept when it comes to Linux and open source with him. He's just a fucking sheep mimicking everything that's Linux and open source. That it's so fucking dangerous to be in that mindset because they can control him like nobody's business. How much would I get if I trade? Let's select this one here and then do a trade in. Grab your computer. We'll make this quick. Oh, I need to put in the serial number. It would be funny if they told you how much you could get in trade-in value for your old hardware. Because I could probably get like a few $100s off it if I traded in my Mac Mini. I'd not be surprised if they would give you close to the retail price back. So if it's a $600 machine with taxes and everything, they will probably give you like 500, 550. I would not be surprised if they did that. Because they can just sell refurbished for like 500 or 550. They don't need to make money off it. That's one thing I really hate about in Europe. We can't get refurbished Mac or Macintosh. It's only in the States, as far as I know. Because I would love if I could just go on to Mac's website and buy a refurbished machine. And save a little bit of money there. Where's the refurb thingy? About Apple. I don't want to do that shit. Apple's values, don't give a fuck. Apple trade-in. Genius Bar. Why the fuck do they not have Apple Camp? What the fuck is that? They have it somewhere. I don't know where the fuck it is. By the way, I've heard that if you shop as a student, they don't check if you are a student. Someone told me that. Sounds like someone went up to me like, "Hey, you stupid idiot! You could get a student." Now, I saw it on a YouTube video. He has been buying. He's not a student. He's been buying Apple products for years as a student without being a student. I think you just need a student card number. That's it, and you can just borrow that from a friend or something like that. Yeah, because I don't think they look at it or validate it. Can we maybe a MacBook Pro would be a good thing for student discount. Also in Denmark we can't buy it on what is it called? Leasing. Like we can't. We have to pay it full price. We can't get it on a payment plan. That Premiere Pro? Oh, it is. I wish it was not that fucking expensive. I kind of like using it. Can I not get that as a student? Can I not get student discount? That sucks. Oh, here we can get a trade-in. We can see what it's cost. Oh, we go Mac. Oh. $450. Up to $450. They were probably only getting $300 or something like that, I guess. So this is probably for the highest end module, I guess. That's not that much, though. Who are the geniuses of Maggie? That's just cute. Today at Apple. What the fuck are we doing? Apple Camp, there you go. I do like this program. Ooh. Look how beautiful it is. This is a fucking old program, by the way. I used this in like 2008 when I got my first iMac. I don't even know how old it is. Is there like a GitHub repository or something like that? Oh yeah, there is. Hox calendar. Last update 2014. Wait, what? Saving statistics to iStat for iOS from Linux. What? Oh, it's the daemon. Oh. Oh. Yeah. It's a daemon. We can get that into Linux, apparently. Well, I think it's time for me to say goodnight. Well, at least stop the stream, because I need to get some more water and some more food in my belly. I'm getting hungry again. So, yeah, thanks for stopping by. The next video that will come out tomorrow is about why Zero to Hero are bullshit. I think I will make a series where I'm debugging a lot of bullshit in the tech world. Talking about, just subject that is, they're not providing, or I don't think they provide what they should be providing, and they're basically just bullshitting you. I may stream this weekend also. I don't know if I because I took last week. I took that off. I work and I just needed a break from YouTube. And I edited 2 videos, and I don't know if I edit a video for Saturday, or I will live stream Saturday or take a day off. Depends on what I have to do. My goal is to start to upload between 2 to 3 videos a week. I don't want to commit too many videos, because I'm a small channel. People seem to not like what I'm doing anymore so much. So I'm just making content for my core audience now. And if I don't have anything to say, I'm not going to make a video just for the algorithm. I don't want to do it just for the algorithm. So it will be between 2 to 3 videos a week. And I want to do more live streams. I've just been busy at work with doing things that I was working on at home also, because I wanted to, it was interesting, and we needed to get some shit done. We have some students that's doing their student project, and I like to test new ideas with them, because they are some smart people. So when I get an idea in my head that code it at home and hey, look at this shit I made. You know, like, can we use it or not? But anyway, thanks for stopping by. See you all later. Have a good week and weekend if we don't talk. I hope I can stream Saturday or Sunday. But I will not count on it. But yeah, anyway, see you all later. Bye-bye.